Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to EPIC41 with Intel. We're here with more Starcraft 2 action, this time in the playoffs. We're going to be seeing pretty much all of the upper bracket today, going right through to the grand final, which will be on the Epic stage. And there's a massive big screen over there. I'm really excited to check it out. I can't wait to get on that stage.
The best stage setup we've had maybe ever.
Easily,
awesome.
yeah. And shout out to our
chairs.
sponsors for making that happen.
I'm hoping we can fill out the stage area quite nicely. Yeah, a really big thanks to all of our sponsors, of course. So I'm just trying to organise.
You're trying to organise the lobby. I'll keep the chat going.
I really
we
can't
saw
wait,
some of the round of 12 matches last night. Those were really, really cool. Those have all been concluded now, and so we're able to continue on with the upper bracket of our Code S playoff, as we like to call it. And we're going to be seeing some round of 8 matches, some quarterfinals. So who are we going to be seeing?
We're going to do only one of these round of 8, and in this case, it's going to be Kane, who is Mix. Always doing that. Versus Figaro, which should be a really good match. So yesterday, obviously, we casted a bit of Mix, a bit of AC, so we're starting to get around the TSI houses a bit. This one's going to be a TSI team kill. Mix versus Fig is kind of that classic matchup. A little bit. They're always pretty close in skill. Fig has been playing a lot lately and doing really well.
Looking really good. Figure's looking really, really good.
And obviously he's the reigning champion from last time.
And he is the reigning champion. Very important to note. It's worth mentioning as well, this bracket is double elim. These players are all still in the upper bracket at the moment. The loser of these matches will be falling down to play the loser of those round of 12 matches. And then they'll be continuing on in the lower bracket. We'll just be focusing on the upper bracket here on stream today, focusing on all of the most important matches to see who's going to get through and get that coveted, map advantage in the grand final as well by the end of the day, which is really, really important. And your reward really for coming through the upper bracket of this Code S stage. So we're in the lobby now. The first map is going to be Solaris, by the looks of it.
Yeah, Solaris, we were talking just in the break a little bit, is an interesting one. It's actually the shortest map in the pool. And that can kind of play out in a few different ways. Obviously, Fig is going into it knowing that he's playing Zerg, but not knowing which kind of opponent he's up against. And that tends to mean that you're not really keen to cheese. A lot of the cheeses are quite tailored to the race that you're playing against. So, for example, this is the classic 12 pool map. But if you roll against the Terran and you're 12 pooling, you're still in trouble, even though it's the shortest map in the pool. It's the best map for it. It's still not a good strat in that case. So I'm probably not going to call any cheese out of Fig, but that does mean that Mix kind of has this interesting spot where he could be the one choosing in this matchup, knowing what he knows, which is that I can 12 pool on this map and he won't know what it is, and it'll hit really fast. So in that way, it could be a really interesting and dynamic kind of set of games at the moment.
Does Mix tend to withhold his race, or is he the kind of random that will tell you what race he's playing at the beginning of a match?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He doesn't ever tell, and I think that's okay.
I mean, it's up to it's part of the game, right? He's technically taking a disadvantage by having to spread himself across 3 races and know how to play all of them equally as well as one another, because he could get any of them, and he has to handle 9 possible matchups. There's a lot of cost to playing random. So it's no obligation for him to tell his opponent what race he's playing as. Some randoms do tend to do so because, on ladder you might run into a random and then expect to get cheesed, and then they don't get very good games, so they're polite and they tell you what race they're going to be playing before the game starts. But this is a tournament, right? There's money on the line. Both these players want to get that, through that upper bracket, continue on. It's worth mentioning this series is going to be a best of 5 as well. So we're going to see a bit more of the map pool today than we were seeing yesterday, other than in the round of 12. But all the upper bracket matches will be best of 5. The final will be best of 7. And I think the players are ready to play.
It's looking like it. We are ready to go, so I'll say go, and we'll hope to get into this one. Okay, hang on. One of the players complaining about this noise.
Yeah, we are getting absolutely blasted by EPIC41 here with some banging tunes. I have no idea what has just happened, but I'm sure it's very exciting if you're over on the main stage right now.
Yeah, I'm worried that can come through on our mics. I'm sure it's not, because they're quite
it will, but not hopefully annoying enough. That screaming is more likely to come through than the music, to be fair.
And that is more annoying, definitely.
I mean, yeah, CSGO players are naturally just annoying by existing, but...
Oh, yeah. But we love them anyway.
We love the hype. We love the hype they bring to LAN. Yeah, exactly. And the shouting and insults to each other's numbers.
I'm always trying to encourage it with the players here to stand up and shout.
The best you'll get out of a Starcraft player is a desk slam. And even that is ooh, that's a bit saucy.
I think we are in hearing range of desk slams.
We're right above the players. We can, I can look over my shoulder here, see the players just down below us, and keep an eye on when the power goes out, which doesn't happen very often, but has caught us off guard a couple of times yesterday. It seems like Once again, the EPIC staff have done a fantastic job patching that up, and everything looks rock steady today.
That music is insanely loud.
It's getting louder.
Are they trying to like test the speakers, or what is this?
I think the only solution is that we're going to have to get really hyped for Figaro versus Mix.
Okay.
And we're getting into map 1
so
right now. Let's get on the screen and see what we're going to be seeing.
Fantastic. Spawning in the top right, playing in the blue for Team Starcraft Improve is Figaro.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, also, oh no, not for Team Starcraft Improve. Sorry, I'm lying to you.
Well, technically, he's just
chosen a different logo. Yeah, he's tricked me. He is also representing TSI. Of course he is. It's the one, the only random player. This time playing Zerg. It is Mix.
Yeah, amazing. It's EVZ. So Fig obviously now in the dark.
Yep.
It's so hard to commentate when it's like blasting music at you, isn't it?
I don't even think anyone's watching it. I think they are just blaring out some tunes.
Trying to wake us all up. It's been a sleepy start because it's a cold morning here. It's trying to get the energy back in the venue.
No, absolutely. Some StarCraft, I'm sure, will get us jazzed up right away.
So Fig taking a 15-15 opening. It's an interesting one. So it's a kind of gasless opening, meaning your link speed is quite a lot slower, but it's quite a really economically focused opening. Mix opening much more standard with the 16 hatch, so like no 12 balls, nothing too cheesy. But to be honest, Fig's opening is completely fine against kind of 12 balls and that sort of thing as well. And it's actually completely playable into all three kind of races. It's an interesting one.
Which makes sense, right? He's going to want to choose a build because
exactly
he's not going to know for quite a while that Overlord is going to take about 15 years to get to the other side of this map, even if it is the smallest map in the pool.
Yeah, and actually
Overlords just move very slowly.
They're not going to meet in the middle, and
they don't
he doesn't get that
on this
reveal.
map. Yeah,
so he will see from this Overlord, though, I'm sure. So yeah, an interesting one. I think this won't scare Mix too much. I'm sure he's seen these kind of builds have been getting more and more popular lately, and it's interesting that Fig is choosing this kind of game to pull it out and kind of show off his range a little bit in game number 1. It's something I think I knew that he'd like playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like this is like starting to get into the real crux of the tournament. You know, we've got some of the best players in the tournament facing off against one another here. They're not going to be hiding builds anymore. They're going to be using, you know, some of their best strats because, yeah, as we said, proceeding in that upper bracket is key.
Yeah, it's amazing actually. Not just pause. It's not just kind of the best players in the tournament. These are some of the best players in the world. These are both like very high ranked kind of GM players, which is always, like, you know, nice to see. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Interesting. Seems like there's some net issues.
Okay, this isn't my keyboard. That's my excuse for not being able to type on it.
Might have to remake this lobby. Shall we throw back to cameras?
Yeah, let's
you can carry on. Oh, you're not going to be able to type if we do that.
You've just seen me do my old long arms, Mr. Tickle routine.
Yeah, we'll let the players figure out what they're going to do. Potentially looks like we're going to resume from replay. Or maybe we might be able to carry on. We'll see if the lag smooths over. Hopefully it won't affect Figaro for too much longer.
Yeah, so what we can do actually is resume from replay, which is a really good kind of tool, just where neither player gets to see like kind of what's going on in the game, and it zooms through the replay really quick, and then you pick up. Okay, so Fig said he wasn't able to kind of input any actions for a few seconds there, but he says it's okay, and let's hope it's fixed. So we're going to resume, and we're going to sit back down again.
Yeah, and so we're going to do a little countdown. Fig's got the countdown down.
Yeah, I think only I can unpause it.
Yeah, it's pause break up in the top row.
Okay,
there we go.
So
hopefully
we're
back in the game. Players are moving again. We'll check on Fig if we need to and get it remade if that becomes a problem, but hopefully we'll be smooth from here on out.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And a weird one, it's not often that you'd get like that kind of thing where you're just stuck, not able to do any actions.
It almost seems like maybe a hardware issue rather than a net issue, because it was fine on our end. We didn't see any indication that any of the players were having net issues. We're all on the same LAN.
And normally you get the screen where it's like you can see that they're lagging out and dropping.
Yeah,
I wonder what that is.
It could have been like a mouse disconnect for a little bit or something. Hard to say what exactly went wrong.
Yeah, but hopefully now they're both happy to keep going.
We see the first little spar between these lings. Figaro's lings are now outnumbered, so he's going to have to run away. Going to try and get a scout off with those two, whilst Mix's two also do make their way across the map as well. Yeah,
this is something I mentioned yesterday in Mars Professor and Picture Entry. It's just like you send two lings across, and they send two lings across, and then both players kind of scout and defend.
They both ignore each other, make new lings to deal with the new lings, and so on and so forth. Figaro does get to see that the third has gone down quicker for Mix, and then Mix also sees the same on the other side, that there isn't yet a third for.
Yeah, he shouldn't be too surprised because his Overlord should have scouted the hatch timing, so he should actually know that this was like a slightly odd hatch first kind of opening. So it's, like you said, going to be a third base out of Mix and a Bane Nest on the way, which is looking like really normal for ZVZ. Interestingly for Fig, he's actually switching back into the Ling speed. Obviously it's like a lot later, Mix is just finished, but he is actually getting it, as well as a Roach Warren. And then no Bane Nest on this side, just using that gas for the Carapace upgrade. So this to me looks like quite a strong like 2-base Roach push. It could be Nidus if he's feeling that way inclined. Actually quite a few Lings coming up, which is an interesting kind of idea with this build, where you're typically maybe not expecting to see Speedlings as the red zone. Yeah,
absolutely. We'll see how he deals with these once they do get across the map. Going back to droning now, though, Figaro, so it's not going to be, you know, a full all in, but he's just going to, you know, put on a little bit of pressure, see if he can get anything done. Test that wall at the front as well. Make sure these mixes his queens in place and hasn't left a gap, which at the moment there is a gap, so we are going to get in.
Yeah, I think Mix and Crystal workers here. Hopefully he doesn't lose too many. A couple going down already. Yeah, it's an interesting actual one. I think he did this just to kind of keep Mix honest and make sure he was actually making safety Banelings and making safety Lings. And actually Mix hadn't, and he'd gone really greedy droning. So now Fig is going to be able to grab a queen and some more workers for his troubles. Only the 2 so far. He doesn't want to overstay his working with these Lings, so that is also Fig's whole army at the moment. But getting good trades so far. Mix does have some Lings coming in now to kind of hold these off. So Fig will have to get out of there. But yeah, like you said, this actually isn't kind of the kind of core of the aggression at all. Fig obviously doesn't have a Bane Nest, so he doesn't want to play Ling Bane versus Ling Bane with no Bane Nest. So it was Roaches all along, and then these are just like a random swell of Lings to head across the map and get
I think this is like kind of an example of what Figaro was talking to us about yesterday, where he's got this kind of mentality at the moment of not letting players play their game. Yep. Right, so this is just, as you said, keeping Mix honest, keeping on his toes, not letting Mix feel comfortable. He doesn't want his opponent to ever feel comfortable, because if they do, even if Figaro should potentially be the favourite in this matchup, he still feels like, you know, you let your opponent play their game, they'll play up to your level rather than you know, playing it the best you can.
Yeah, and we saw that because Mix took a really nice worker lead, you know, and that would have been for free had Fig not tried to punish it. Let's get in with these Lings to top these queens, and now Mix is pulling a lot of the workers. He's going to have to use Banes to try and clear up these Roaches. So this is big worker losses. Mix still actually up in workers, so long as he can survive, and it's looking kind of okay so far. I think he should be able to stabilize here. Let's see how the reinforcements from Figs goes.
Yeah, this seems like it's going to get cleaned up. There's not enough of a trickle of Roaches in to really keep this attack sustained, I say, and he does keep pushing through. He had a better concave there, I guess, with that engagement.
Yeah, but we do have quite good defensive advantage here from Mix. Obviously, the Lings that Mix is making are not kind of what he would like ideally, but they do a good enough job of tanking and taking aggro away from the Roaches. But Fig is still just coming across with everything. This is a really weird one.
And he's not gone back to drones. He is just fully committing to building Roaches from here on out.
Yeah, quite all in actually. Does look like it's going to be held so far. I would love to see him go away and morph those weak Roaches into Ravagers, try and keep them alive, give them a bit more kind of life left in this game. Mix kind of pushing this away.
Mix needs to be careful not to overextend. He doesn't realise that Figaro has another round of 11 Roaches on the way behind this.
Yeah, and the reinforcements will meet in the middle of the map, and that can kind of flip-flop and swing the game back again. Fig taking a really big work supply, army supply advantage in fact. And so yeah, Mix needs to be careful now. Smart move, not pushing up this ramp, but does need to be careful not to like get overconfident. And we do see a big wave of 9 drones and a Spire behind this.
Yeah,
which feels a little bit.
I think Mix feels like he's held, and that Figaro is going to go back to droning and tech up, whereas he's not. He's just building more Roaches and Ravagers, and I think he's going to come back with wave 2 of this attack very soon.
Yeah, so it is more than twice as many Roaches than Mix has. A little bit of volleyball or dodgeball, I guess. Volleyball's not quite so aggressive. But if Mix can get away with it and get this Spire out, he's in a really nice spot. I just don't quite see it yet. Getting supply block from that Overlord death, but you see that Fig is now behind this, kind of caught up in army. He's a little bit behind in tech. His lair just finished. He obviously has that Carapace upgrade, +1 on the way, so now we'll be getting the Roach speed through. Mix had skipped Roach speed for a little while, actually, obviously saving gas to try and get his Spire out, and will still be like banking gas and saving up for his Muta switch, but yeah, we'll see if Fig can kind of punish before that becomes too relevant. Let's see how many he can get out. Looks like 7 or so Mutas.
Exactly 7 is right. Good quick math there, Hart.
Yeah, I'm never meant to do maths on stream, but there we go. I sometimes let myself.
Never work with children, animals, or do math. That's what they say.
This is true. How come you're co-casting then? Anyway,
we
only have the 7 Mutas on the way, and then 9 Roaches. So Mix is quite keen not to kind of sit on the Mutas, go kind of mass Mutas. Yeah, good pointing out here that the Hydra Den is on the way.
He's not scouted the Mutas, right? This is just like a
Now
he
knows. Okay. He might have seen them.
He might have seen something.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think this is kind of intuition. You kind of send that overseer in, and you're like, that's not enough roaches. So you're either bad at macro or you're doing something. Yeah.
Got the spores on the way as well, just to be extra safe. Now that he's been confirmed, he's losing a lot of overlords. He's going to get supply blocks much in the same way Mix was a second ago, but I'm sure it won't last long. There's 3 overlords on the way.
Yeah, interesting that Mix kind of isn't heading straight across the map with the mutas. Obviously, when they're like a big surprise, you want to try and get into mineral lines and try and snipe some workers. He's in fact going to go for the Ravagers here, so Fig obviously has to position his army near those spores. But yeah, it's just interesting that Mix didn't go straight across with them and try and go for workers. Actually, he could have, because Fig kind of skipped spores.
There's no spore in the natural, yeah, that's a little bit of an oversight. Does lose 4 drones for the cost, but a few mutas do get softened up.
Yeah, not a bad trade at all. It's just that kind of situation where it's like, oh, you should have just gone straight away instead of clearing those overlords. But now he is going to push out with a lot of his roaches. He is actually at a slight like upgrade deficit, so Fig's opening obviously with that really fast carapace actually puts him in a really nice spot to transition to a longer game, going up to the 1-1 and then now 2-2. A few Hydras on the way, and actually Roach Ravager is stronger than Roach Hydra, but Fig has had quite a healthy army count and is so, still quite far ahead in terms of that army.
Oh, a little bit of a move command. That was horrible. That's taken a lot of damage onto the roaches. We do have a bit of a freeze, but we'll keep on freezing.
I hope that's just our side and not theirs. I think it was. Otherwise it might be a remake. So yeah, these Hydras coming through are actually not that good, and they don't have all of the upgrades they need yet, but Mix is going to respect this. He's obviously on his opponent's side of the map, closer to his rally, so does need to get out of there.
Yeah, despite the move command mistake, he still had enough Roach Ravager there to kind of hold that one comfortably and push Mix back to now.
Yeah, this is a lot of Hydras actually, and they're very scary. The DPS kind of like density is very high with those, and he doesn't really want to pull these mutas into fight because they will just absolutely melt, as we see one going down already. Yeah, he doesn't want to give this base up, but he's going to have to. He needs to get back to the high ground and just play around the high ground with his Ravagers. Let's see.
Does not want to be taking the engagement up that ramp. Going to be losing a lot of units for free there.
Yeah, you're
I'll have to back
right.
off, I think.
Actually, tanking some big bios on some of these Hydras, which is very rough. Yeah,
I think the mutas are dead now.
Yeah, I'm not loving it. They were quite expensive and they didn't get that much done. I'm sure Mix kind of wanted more out of it. We do see burrow movement out of Mix. I actually don't
3 overlords and 6 drones is not really what you were looking for when you built about 7 to 10 mutas. So
yeah, plus the cost of the Spire. Yeah, it's quite a lot, especially when you got it so early. Mix actually sending his burrowed roaches out onto the map and will reveal that he has that upgrade shortly. +2 coming through for Fig already. Mix's is done, but obviously Fig has the carapace.
I was just about to say, I like this Roach run by. I was just about to ask you, like, what do you think about a Ling run by was actually what I was thinking in the background while this is going on, because at the moment both players are kind of bunching up the majority of their roaches and posturing on the map, and there's not that great wall-ins it tends to be in a ZVZ, so this kind of run by is actually working seemingly quite well for Mix. 14 drones went down.
14 drones is really good and puts Mix in a really nice position, but he's actually Fig is actually maxed. Really bad miss micro there with the accidental burrow. Really nice bios hitting a lot of
have detection
though? No, that's a fair point.
I just think it was just a pause. Everyone stop for a moment.
Definitely an odd turn of events, as we do see Mix going up nearly double the worker count as Fig, but he needs to survive this first push to kind of capitalize on that. We found ourselves in a weird spot where the Roach run will go down. This is kind of do or die for Mix now.
We're up to 30 drones dead. I think there are still Roaches in Figaro's base. He's just all in at this point. This is it. It's do or die, like you said.
Yeah, and we now see Mix pulling workers of his own. There are no more Roaches going to come out with this for Mix. So pulling his own workers, then hoping that he loses fewer than Fig does, is going to have to be the play. But I'm not sure.
I don't think even if Figaro wins this, he's not going to have enough of an army left over to cause crippling damage. Not to compensate for the kind that he's taken, although 42 drones did go down in the pull.
Yeah, this is actually working out better for Fig here. Really unfortunate for Mix that he had to kind of sack so much, and now he's having to remake Lings behind this, which is not really what he wants. Still a worker in the middle of the map there.
We've had a bit of an economy reset, both players down to very low worker count, similar sized armies, so we're probably going to see this stabilize for a little bit here.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for Mix. He got himself to a really good position and then just didn't quite stop his opponent from getting into kind of that game-winning position. Sniping the Roach Warren is really rough for Mix. It's only getting rebuilt now, so we do see Fig start to really pull ahead in this game. Mix going back into droning, I think that really is his only option, but he's down in both counts now, workers and army.
Interesting. He's going back to the mutas. He's sitting on a bank of gas, right? He's not able to make Roaches. Like, what else is he to do? Those could do something if Figaro doesn't build any more Hydras.
Yeah, and I don't think Fig will. That seems like you know, they're not really the play. So there's only one Hydra with this. I'm not sure why Mix's army is so far across the map, and it is going to get cleaned up for the most part. 8 mutas, 9 mutas now coming out, and if they can get on top of that Hydra and snipe it, then you know he actually has some life left in this game. Let's see how the control goes, and we'll see.
The Hydra's at the back at the moment, being dodged. It does need to be cleaned up, like you said. See if the transfuses can keep that spine crawler alive. They did not. It is dead.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I just think the mutas are kind of the only option that Mix had, but I'm not sure the DPS is there to kind of clear up the roach force on the ground.
They're just going to tickle the roaches, really, aren't they? They're not going to stop them before crippling damage can be done.
Yeah, absolutely. We're watching, I don't know, mutas shoot +1 carapace roaches, so this may take some time to clean up. Yeah, Mix actually borrowed his drones, but there's an overseer with this, and I think that's kind of the beginning of the end. Isle is even hitting one of those mutas. Oof. Yeah, so we're now down to 16 workers for Fig. It's not what we want to be, losing a base. Actually does have the one in the north, and Fig is going to have to go and clear that up, otherwise he just transfer here and mine here. Does have a lot of map control with these mutas. Fig coming across now with his first 3 Hydras and 5 more.
He's building more Hydras again to compensate, because he knows that mutas is all that Mix has, and I think once those Hydras catch up, there's not going to be any way to stop this attack.
An absolutely insane game 1 though, and we see, you know, these players kind of...
Oh no, the base is going to survive.
Blowing each other.
What are the odds?
We can link run by that and get it later, I'm sure. Yeah, it's such a like scrappy game, and you know, worker pools and you know, really sick run bys. And I think the run bys is interesting because it shows just that Fig, GG is called.
Yeah.
Shows that Fig is not quite warmed up today. I think normally that would not do quite so much damage. So we'll see if he can kind of tighten his game up in the next few.
It does show the you know, the power of Mix, you know, with all the races. Like, he went toe-to-toe with one of the best Zergs in the UK SC2 scene, and, you know, really gave him a tough time of it. Like, I think the fact that it became such a messy game is a testament to how awkward Mix made Figaro. Like, Figaro was, as we said earlier on, trying to not let Mix play his own game, but in the same way he got disrupted as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Mix will be kicking himself for that one. It's one of those that are like a theoretical win, I think. I think he got himself to a really nice spot, and then it was just unfortunate they had to pull all of his workers to try and hold kind of the counter-attack from Figaro. We hopefully are hopping into the lobby for map 2, which is going to be hard lead, or hard lead.
Hard lead. I'm fairly sure that's incorrect, but I'm going to continue my kind of theme of just mispronouncing every single map in the ladder pool.
Nice.
And hard lead looks pretty good to me.
The committing to the bit is always.
Yeah, I don't know how to butcher Solaris because it's just too much of there's not really many options there.
It's gotten worse. Instead of music, it's now just
it's
static.
now just feedback.
Yeah,
they're
really
just holding
nice.
a microphone up to the speakers on the stage as loudly as possible.
They're just experimenting. It's good. Getting the lobby
like
made.
Having a child that's learning an instrument, and you can't stop them, but you just have to kind of suffer through and listen to it. Alright, we're in the lobby. Both players are not willing to hang about. Be interesting to see whether Mix gets Zerg again, we get another ZVZ, or whether we get to see one of the other 3 matchups.
Yeah, last event, Mix was getting like pretty much just Zerg, and I don't know how he's doing it. I'm pretty sure he's got some kind of switch that rigs, you know, what races he gets. We'll see in this case. Obviously, it's still a 1 in 3 chance. He's not actually.
He just spams like the Z key on the loading screen.
Oh,
and it
like
is
when you're
ZVZ.
spamming A in Pokemon.
Yeah, like in Pokemon
to get the catch.
Make sure you catch him. But we're in the game. We're on hard lead. And we're going to be jumping in and introducing these 2 players.
Yeah, I'll go for Fig once again. Spawning in the bottom right, playing in the red, taking a commanding lead in a scrappy game on the previous map is Figaro for TSI.
Cheeky little extractor trick as well. And in the top left-hand corner, in the blue, also representing TSI, playing Zerg again, it is Mix.
Yeah, an interesting one. We get a regame, a ZVZ. And I'm interested to see kind of how Mix approaches this one. Obviously, he's kind of seen a lot more about how Fig likes to play his ZVZ, this same 15-15 opening, and then that kind of weird ling timing. And hopefully, this game Fig will, Mix will think, okay, I'm not going to take damage to that again. I know, you know, when those lings are coming and what they're for, so I can just plan around it and live with it, and hopefully then he can kind of you know, tighten up his early game,
in
get into that mid-game.
In the same way I can see Figaro skipping them, right? Like the whole thing about making his opponent uncomfortable. You don't want to just do the same thing every game because, like you said, they'll be able to adapt to it and get used to it. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if he skips that run by this time.
Yeah,
because otherwise he's you know, open in the same conservative way that we saw last game.
Yeah, it might be that he does it quite reactively. when he's kind of running with his first scouting links and goes like, okay, you're skipping Banes because you don't know what I'm doing. Whereas in this game, you know, he might be with that scouting link and see, oh, you made Banes this game, good job. I've kept you more honest for that.
That is kind of like the primary goal of Zerg, right? Is to be reactive to your opponent. It's important for all races. Like scouting is one of the key things in StarCraft, but I think Zerg has the tools to kind of flip-flop a bit and you know, respond to the opponent rather than having to commit to stuff up front.
Yeah, and you can do that in so many ways. You know, you can see their unit choice and be like, oh, you haven't got anything that shoots up. Okay, this is cool for a muta switch. You can be like, oh, you're skipping spores. This could be really good for my kind of roach burrow play. Or you can even do it that like, oh, this player is not good against roach burrow play, and then kind of adapt your strategy based on not what they're doing in the game, but like the meta game and what they're actually like and what they play. So we'll see how kind of these paths diverge now. We do have the same openings for both players, so that's really fun and exciting. But I can't blame Fig actually, because he obviously doesn't know which opponent he's playing against and what they're going to get up to, so that's a bit fair enough.
Absolutely not. We see those friendly lanes making their way out onto the map. There aren't any lanes for Fig, right?
I think he skipped them.
He skipped them this game, yeah. So not that worried about getting across the map. Happy to just rely on the Overlord to get all the information he needs for now. So these links from Mix will come in uncontested until they meet these two queens, which have other ideas.
Yeah, I don't know that he can actually deny the scout, especially when the 4 links kind of match up and he gets all 4 of them together. Doesn't look like Mix wants to dive for it. There isn't too much that he could really be seeing. You know, the only thing that Figaro has kind of made is his Evo chamber and it's at the front, so that's kind of it for Mix. There is a Bane Nest on the other side for Mix. This is really standard and just like very safe, very normal. He's just like, you know, you kind of have to make it in case it's some weirdness and you're going to Ling Bane all in me. Though in this case, it actually looks like Mix is the one that wants to be aggressive.
Yeah, going up to 16 lings in that queue with the 4 already out on the map. And then they should all finish around the same time as the Baneling Nest being done, so he's going to be able to come across the map, Moss and Banelings outside of Figaro's base. And at the moment, Figaro doesn't have a lot of map presence. He's just got those 2 Overlords. The Queens are slow. They probably aren't going to be able to kill this Overlord. I think it should get away.
Well, it's actually good for Mix if they chase it, because they're now off creep, and Mix can run in behind this and kind of grab them in place. He is obviously flooding with a big bunch of lings behind it and should be able to catch those queens.
Is he just doing this to soften up the Queens so that the second batch of lings can finish them off?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say I didn't really like this attack because the wall is so strong for Figaro, but if he can kind of bait the Queens off creep and then get through the wall.
Still managed to get in, and now he's going to get the Queen really quickly. He's going to get the other Queen. There's nothing hit between these drones. It's just Lings versus drones. He doesn't even need the Banelings. He is morphing 2 outside, but the Lings here are coming late from Figaro and won't be able to help.
Yeah, I really didn't like the build for Mix, but obviously if your opponent is going to like expose themselves like that, putting their Queens out of the wall onto the map, you can do this sort of thing. A decent Bane hit to start, but the second one went a bit wide. Not a bad hold from Fig. It's not what he wanted, obviously, those 8 workers going down, but
and the roaches are starting to come now, which will eventually deflect this, won't it?
Yeah, but Mix is really committing, actually really going hard for it, and Fig kind of knows and is going to full wall behind this. I think with the roaches, he can actually protect his kind of wall quite well. Does need to cancel that one.
Okay.
But I don't really like this spot for Mix, who is kind of really, really committing to this and thinks his best
this is a lot of Banelings
to go for it. Yeah, and with this many Banelings, you can obviously get through Queens.
The roaches, though, are so tanky, and they're being transfused. They're not going to go down. He's going to lose all of these links to this wall and not going to get in at all.
Yeah, I might be able to get through this Queen, but Fig just barely getting the roaches in position.
Morphing this Ravager at the front, that was very smart.
Yeah, the egg just has slightly more armor and makes it really even more annoying to get through, and that's going to be it for Mix. I really think he could have macroed out of that one and kind of taken the worker advantage.
He should have banked the lead. He got 8 drones from the first attack, and then he's just thrown away everything he earned in the second round.
Yeah, so he's actually not up workers after all of that. Yeah, I'm not sure. It might be just that he doesn't really feel comfortable playing a quite standard macro game against Fig, you know, given how game 1 went, which is understandable, to be honest. But I think after that early game, maybe you could play a macro game. It's a really interesting one, and definitely keeping Fig on his toes. But it does look to have stabilized really well now. So Fig will get that roach ball up. This is really like enough roaches to be very safe. He probably doesn't really want to go across because he doesn't want to get these like surrounded in the middle of the map and doesn't really know what Mix is up to. But he can just drone behind this and be very comfortable.
Yeah, it was worth mentioning, obviously Mix did get the 3rd base up behind this, as most have been using it as a macro hatch so far, but now that he's no longer committing to this attack, he should be able to power ahead with the drones, with the extra lava, hopefully extend a bit of a lead while he's able to contain Figaro. But the contain, as you said, isn't going to last too long. At some point there's going to be a critical mass of roaches where he feels comfortable to move out, but maybe leave some behind to hold the choke.
Yeah, or wall yourself in. He actually cancelled +1 ranged and switched it and made a lair with the gas instead. He's now going back into that +1 range. So I don't think this is for muted or anything. It's just for roach speed, and he's just going to play really standard 2-base roach. Mix behind this is making a few roaches, but obviously his tech is very slow and his work count is not amazing. I'd really prefer him just to like drone. Really greed, really drone.
While the contain's on, the risk is obviously the counter-attack, right? Look, Figaro's feeling confident now. Figaro's like, I need this base, I need to come out. Once he establishes that base, there's not going to be a lot else for Fig to do other than poke with these roaches. Does let the Lings in. That's unfortunate.
A little bit sloppy they're leaving the base up, and obviously the Russian Queen's already kind of close enough by that he could have held that.
5 workers. There's more workers going down here than I was expecting from that.
Yeah, good job splitting into the main and the natural, and then he's going to hide these for Banelings, but Fig obviously saw him do it.
He's not. He's an old hand at this, you know. He's not going to fall for the old Lings in the back of your base trick.
6 workers is a good catch though, and does kind of even out the score a little bit. It was interesting. He started that by trying to snipe the drone that was going to make the 3rd hatch, and I was like, that's so not worth it. But then, kind of because the army was so far out of position, he did get that run by off. And
once again, it was bait, right? Like just like that Overlord ended up turning out to be bait and getting the wall out of position. He just used that snipe on the 3rd as bait to get into the main, which was really nice.
Yeah, I actually thought it might have been an accident, but it does look like it was what we call a magnet.
Roaches are
ships of the night.
Like ships in the night. Yeah, exactly what I was going to say.
The blue streaming down the left with Fig's roaches pushing up the right. They're really close in all supplies actually in this game so far. I'm not going to be able to observe this very well. We'll see what
yeah, it's a shame we don't have picture-in-picture. Maybe one day Epic Land will have enough money to have 2 observers, but not today. For now, we're just going to have to deal with splitting it, and we see the roaches coming into the natural here from Mix. There's nothing here to defend. The drones are all going to die.
Yeah, he's pulling his drones across the map and just going to try and base trade. Fig pulling his workers to fight as well, just because there's nothing else that he kind of needs them for. So Fig is going to kind of kite these workers and try and catch as many of them as he can. Does look he gets all of them. Mix is also obviously just killing all the buildings. That's how you win a game of Starcraft after all.
Shocking.
Fig does look like he's pulling back actually, so not really committing to the base trade. I'm not sure what is going on or whose position I like in this one, I'm not going to lie.
A few of us discovered the other day that Nidus count as buildings.
Yeah.
So if you have a Nidus alive, you're not yet dead, which I didn't know. Not going to be an option in this game, I don't think.
Fig is getting a Spire behind this? There's no way this works.
With
I
what
think this
money?
is looking good for Mix. There's no way this is the play.
Mix did have the army supply advantage, but now Fig has come home and has a slight lead with the drones here to help fight. I think he's in big trouble.
This could be rough for Mix. He does take good control of the ramp and can start like biling it and making sure Fig has to run through that choke. But with the roaches full, it's the workers are going to tank for the roaches. But we'll see who comes out of this with more workers at the end of the day, and it is going to be Mix. Unfortunately for Mix, he's going to lose all his whole army for this.
The army is huge.
Yeah, that really means that Fig can come across. A really nice bio to take out some more workers on the backside. Mix does see the Spire, and Fig is going to keep building it. Honestly, I'm not sure I even hate it anymore. Like, you can just try and scrape what cash he can together, make 5 meters.
That's sad.
Be it.
There was a period there when the base trade was happening where Mix had like quite an army supply lead. He had a worker supply lead. Obviously, most of the workers died, and he did get out with more than Figaro did, but it just took bad trades. Like, the fights did not go well for him. He was, engaging poorly in Figaro's main and lost a good chunk of that army lead. And then when Figaro correctly decided to come back home and stop trying to go for the base race, he was just able to clean up with the drones because the defender's advantage. You got the fastest resupply as well for the new units spawning. It was all in Figaro's favor.
Yeah, obviously Mix lost a lot of workers when he pulled them to go across the map to kind of base trade a little bit better. But then Fig had the advantage of being able to pull his own workers to tank. With his for his army, and get a really good trade there in his base. It's a really rough one. I have no idea how you're supposed to play that.
No, very tricky indeed. And we see Figaro's expertise in ZVZ, paying dividends in the end again.
Yeah, I mean, so much of the matchup is, your micro, your macro, your strategic choice, all this sort of thing. But so much of it is these, is knowing what to do when you get to these really weird, like really scrappy spots, and you're trying to choose the optimal path through. And Mix obviously thought the optimal path was trying to just eliminate it by killing all the buildings, and Fig was not keen to have that happen. Whereas obviously Mix in that case was. Fig in that case realised that the base trade wasn't worth winning, and maybe that Mix just had too many buildings, it would take too long to kill, and making it turned out to be the correct call, pulling home and defending his base and winning that one. The Spire I still think is not it, but it was interesting.
Yeah, if you think about it, if that had stabilised and they'd gone back to mining, even though he had less drones, Mix didn't really have anything that could shoot up at that point anymore.
Yeah.
The Mutas would have gone to town and easily decimated that drone advantage that he had at that point.
You're absolutely right, and that makes playing the rest of the game so irritating for the for the non-muta player, just so annoying. Trying to like follow those meters around, and when you're on so low drone counts, you don't really want to spend any on spores or queens or what have you. So just to have, like, just to be forced to spend that way is not what you want, and then you can lose workers so easily.
What is this? What are we looking at? This isn't a Zerg? I don't understand.
Is this the wrong mix? Is this Protoss mix?
This
yeah,
Protoss
finally
mix.
not a ZVZ. But I will tell you something. Mix really prefers Terran.
Yeah.
His orders like Terran, Zerg, Protoss, and not keen on Protoss much at all. We did see him do a bit of a weird game yesterday with a 2-gate forge, like a weird cannon rush, zealot rush type thing. That didn't
Do you think
really
we're going
go
to see
his way.
something cheesy then? Or
Mix tends to play, I wouldn't call it cheesy, but I would call it
aggressive?
aggro builds.
Aggro builds, yeah.
Like
That's how I like to play Protoss as well, to be honest. Like the two base options, there's quite a lot of them, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly right. Yeah, so he could be dealing like 2 base adepts and then into like switching that into an all-in as opposed to like macroing out behind it and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he wants adepts, he wants Stargate, is he going to go Glaives, is he going to, go Oracles? What are we going to see in this matchup?
Yeah, he did get to watch Mix play against Maples yesterday and kind of see how he deals with ZVP, and maybe picked up some kind of some thoughts there about what might work. Fig opening with this same opening, so it's 15-15, and then kind of
It
delaying
seems
your
to just be
gas
like what he's comfortable with against any race. Like if you don't know, this seems to be like something he's like, I can defend anything from this, it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly right, and I think he's not wrong with that call. He obviously now knows it's Protoss, but we'll fly and make sure that there's no buildings on his side of the map, no weirdness, and even gets to see the...
Once he sees the expo, he should know more or less that there's probably nothing out on the map.
Yeah, exactly.
And the probes come across as well to do a similar scout. And the first Ling's on the way, we'll push that away when it pops out, but for now he's going to get a full scout off. Going to see the pool. I think probably saw the pool.
Yeah, I mean, I think he
gas,
knows how much gas and how much is money. This is the first kind of thing that we've seen Fig kind of deviate on, and in ZVZ he leaves the 3 in and goes for faster speed.
Right.
Against Protoss, he can see he's only mining the 1 and won't get such a quick speed, and I guess deals with that, doesn't care too much.
And the Stargate is on the way. We do see a couple of adepts being built to go out and poke on the map and get map control, but yeah, Stargate seems to be the choice for Mix.
It's a lovely rock. Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of, the Stargate is quite standard and can move into lots of different options.
Right.
So you can play like Oracles to support Stalkers, or you can play Oracles into Adepts. There's sort of lots of builds, lots of kind of diverging paths from the
He's going up to 3 adepts. I don't know how many is like a normal number to get.
Yeah, 2 is normal, so 2 will one-shot a worker. So when you have 2 together, you just go in, one-shot workers.
So the third one is
third is interesting.
Potentially a sign of things to come. So the Oracle's on the way. Pardon me. And we'll see if that can get anything done as well. The adepts are going to poke, as we said, scout the third, see what's going on.
Yeah, I actually didn't know it. He did see that go down. See, he does kind of know what is up. Second gate on the way. Let's see how. Basically, you can kind of tell what Mix's plan is by the Oracle count.
Yep.
It does look like he's going for this third base. He can like tuck these in the minerals and then expand quite quick. And this is what the Stargate opening kind of lets you get away with, because if anyone tries to Ling flood your expansion, you just turn the Oracle on and zap the Lings down. And obviously, it then means you can't get across the map, but it does mean that you get a really nice fast third base. It's not even like that slower than the Zergs.
So in this instance, the third adept is literally just to plug the hole in the wall while the 2 adepts go out and allow you to score your third.
Yeah, it could be. Could send them across and just keep that third one home. Yeah, I'm not sure where.
It's
right.
Yeah,
the third one is there.
Instead of using a probe, which is fair enough.
Yeah, he never sent these 2 across, which.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have tried to get a little bit done with them, but maybe he just assumed that Figaro would be playing safe and have enough Lings and Queens around to deflect any kind of pressure on the drone lines.
Yeah, I mean, one advantage of the build that Fig is playing is just that you skip gas for so long. You're only he's only mining 1, and some people just don't make the extractor even. So your money can really go into the queen count, and he has a really healthy up to 5 now. So he's got basically enough for 2 in each mineral line. Allows him to get the spores a little bit later, and that kind of snowballs into a nice little eco edge. It's going to be 2, and now we have the Twilight Council on the way. It's possible there's one more after this, and then this is for Blink, or he stops here, and this might be for Glaives. Or it's +1, and then it could be Charge, but it could also be Blink with +1. I don't know, he's making Adepts. This feels like Glaives.
Yeah.
But I'm
The fact he's going for more adepts is probably the key sign there.
Yes, we do have a little bit, a few lings. I kind of spotted these earlier out of Fig.
They've been sitting at home for a while.
Yeah, and they can't really get much done on the side of the map. It might be another case of trying to keep Mix honest and make sure he's not skipping too many adepts, not skipping too many like batteries and that sort of thing. Does only have the one here. He doesn't really need the one here. Okay, it is charged.
It's charged, yeah.
I think I called it. I think I also said every possible
You
tech,
did say every possible, like, Protoss v Zerg's strat,
but that's the way I'm never wrong. So
we saw
it works.
We've got 3 oracles as well now, so now there's a chance for these to do some real damage in mineral lines. Absolutely obliterating drones. Even with a spore crawler there, they're not really going to care. They're going to bounce back and forth. 6 kills already. They're going to go to the natural, get a few more.
Yeah, not bad macro at all, or micro, sorry, at all. Does need to be careful not to lose any. This one getting a little bit low.
Spicy.
Yeah, way too low for comfort, that's for sure. Down to 13.
7 kills though on that one alone, plus the rest of them. 8 drones in that most recent attack, and yeah, they're all alive to come back for another day.
What I will say though is we do have a Templar Archives. This is not for Storm. This is not your mama's Templar Archives. This is just for Archons.
Yeah.
So it's like
the Immortals being pumped as well.
Archons, Immortals, and charge lots. Gets him quite quickly with this opener into like a very standard, like very solid kind of mid-game comp, and then you just probably go across, try and get something done.
Yeah.
This is very greedy actually, and Fig is, the level of player we could easily focus fire that weak one down, but Mick's actually finding a good spot here where the Queen's out position. Oh.
Just like you said, he focus fired the weak one down.
Got it. I was thinking of this weak one. It's interesting.
Oh, no, the other one had no shield.
Got the other one, yeah.
Yeah, he managed to get that one low. I think by accident, like it was just happened to be the one the Queen and the third was targeting, and then he targeted it with the 2 Queens that came from the natural. Really good micro from Fig.
Yeah, and, still nice for Mix though. 12 workers for an Oracle is definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, they've done so much damage. They've really been paying for themselves.
So I think Fig just ran a ling in and actually saw kind of what Mix is up to, which is really interesting.
Fig what mixes mixes.
What mixes mixes.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, well done.
All the dad jokes, and I'm not even a dad.
But we do now have Hydra's coming.
We could get a full dad cast later.
Should we?
We could get Razza and Dane to do the dad cast.
It wouldn't feel complete without Richie, but then we need another headset for the next.
Get him in on Discord.
Yeah, true.
Just get him in as an obs in the game. Get him on Discord, and he can co-cast on the dad cast. I mean, we need to make that happen. I want to see Gamer Richie at LAN again. That would be awesome.
Definitely. I don't know if he's watching, but
I hope so. Shout out Gamer Richie if he's in the chat.
Definitely. So yeah, it's a Roach Hydra comp, which is interesting. It doesn't tend to be like the most standard of comps anymore, but it's so kind of, I don't know, robust might not be the right word, but it's like bread and butter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's toast. It's like you wake up, you're like, what do I mean?
It's jam on toast.
It's toast. Jam on toast, Marmite on toast. I don't know, it's just toast.
It's not Marmite. This is not controversial enough to be Marmite. This is going to do a lot of damage, I think.
Yeah, and no Storm, like I said, so these Hydras actually gonna pack a decent punch.
That stasis with 1 Roach was pretty. I don't know if he did it intentionally, but if he did, it was sick.
He barely didn't get all of his army stasis. Gonna kite in here so that all of his units are fighting. No battery overcharge at Mix. I guess he's out of energy, which is really rough. So Mix pulls off the line straight away. Though behind this, there's a big charge lot run by, and we see a good number of drones going down for Fig as well. So actually, over and over again, Mix is showing that he can kind of go eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth here, but he needs also to be able to hold the push. Can we get a force field? Not bad. Oh, there are Queens with this. I didn't even see them come across.
It does really seem like Mix has been caught a little bit with his, unawares that this was coming. He hadn't really built the army supply to contend with this many Roach, and Hydra is also the Oracles were sitting there twiddling their thumbs at the third when they could have potentially been helping defend a bit.
Yeah, it's rough. It's kind of the same with the Mutas where you don't really want to fly them in because they will just die to these Hydras.
Yeah.
That is going to be it.
And that's going to be GG. It's a quick 3-0 for Fig.
3-0, but I don't think 3-0 tells the whole story on that one. I think Mix.
No, not at all.
Kind of had it. It's a shame he got his Protoss for the last one. I think he's not so confident in the
PVZ maybe.
In the PVZ. I think if Fig had given him a little bit more space and hadn't gone for that like 66 worker kind of all in, it maybe would have been a little bit more playable for Mix. But to be honest, I just think it's not kind of where he's confident and happy to play.
And it comes back to Fig's MO. Yeah, don't let your opponent play their game. Play your game. Push them down to their level. Don't let them come up to yours. And he really showed it that game. He looked really solid. He looks like a contender that could potentially win another Epic LAN.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to say some thanks for our sponsors.
Yeah, our sponsors for this event have been fantastic. Obviously, this is EPIC41 with Intel. Intel, the primary sponsor for this event, providing us loads of great hardware to work with. On top of that, we've got these 2 fantastic Asus monitors, Asus ROG monitors, helping us spectate and cast all these games. We wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Draytech, who I think are running a lot of the kind of networking side of things here, which have been really good. And there's a switch even in the corner of the
yeah, we're up on the balcony, like miles away from the main convention hall, and we've still got super fast internet, so that's been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Overclockers, who have been around at EPIC41 forever, and
they've been sponsoring EPIC41 for many years. Providing all the fantastic hardware in the store down there that you can go and see if you're at the event. Go look at all those awesome PCs that they build.
Brought racing sims, the last one as well.
Yeah, they've got. I was playing those yesterday.
Oh, actually.
Yeah. It's
okay,
it's got like a full Mozza racing setup, direct drive wheel. Oh, it's fantastic. It was really good fun to play with.
They actually do a thing where if you order before LAN, they'll bring your stuff and deliver it to your desk at LAN.
Yet another reason to come down to the Catering Conference Center for EPIC41 with Intel.
Yep. We're going to throw it to a break, and then I think we're hopping into the semi-finals, and we'll see kind of how those are getting on. We're going to need a little bit of time, I think, to set those ones up, right? And get those all good.
We'll have to see how long, how the quarterfinals have been coming along. There might be one of the two semi-finals that's ready that we can jump straight into in the meantime. But we'll throw it to a quick break, maybe half an hour or so, and we'll be back as soon as we can with more StarCraft 2 action. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
It's where I've been and who I am, all the ways I've grown. Blood in the sweat, tears and regret made me hard as stone. On my own, put the work in, yeah, I earned it. It's my destiny. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. Do a double take, see me on fire, see that I can break. Knew I'd be great, knew I would rise through all of the pain. All of the love, start with it now, keeper of all faith, never change. Put the work in, yeah, I earned it. It's my destiny. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the
stop gaming.
Hello, Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him? Hello, Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
Never stop gaming.
Right. You keep going, I'll cast. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the stream here with us. My name's Bollard. I'm joined with Hart again.
Hello,
You're definitely not playing Pokemon Go because we're here to watch some fantastic Starcraft 2 action at EPIC41 with Intel.
It's shiny, Bollard. I have to catch
The
it.
Uxie is shiny. The Uxie will get caught, but it will get caught when we're not on camera, as long as it's not going to run away. I don't know how Pokemon Go works. But yeah, we've got a really fantastic match here. We're back with another round of 8 game. This is the last round of 8 game. So let's talk really quickly about the bracket, because I don't think we mentioned who is currently in that bracket at the moment. It's really stacked.
Yeah.
So we've got Risky playing against, I've actually forgotten.
Should be
Jessu. Risky against Jessu. That's going on right now. At the same time, Zane is playing Molten.
Yep.
Those 4 players are in the top side of that round of 8 bracket. On the bottom side, we already watched Figaro beat down Mix 3-0 and proceed into the upper semi-finals. And now we're watching the other round of 8 match on that side of the bracket, which is going to be Raza versus Iba.
Yeah.
The long-standing Epic Land veteran Raza playing against the new young upstart Iba. It's going to be a fantastic match to watch.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it should be really interesting to see kind of how that kind of affects the mentality of the 2 players. Iba's been playing a lot and he's looking really strong. Raza, has recently become a father, so congratulations to him.
But big congratulations.
Does mean he hasn't had as much time for the important stuff, Starcraft.
The important stuff.
Definitely
not his newborn child. No, absolutely. Yeah, you're spot on. It was good watching Iba, for example, last night in the Big Brain Battles. Big shout out to that for being run. That was really cool to watch. UK getting showcased. UK Starcraft basically getting showcased on that stream.
Yep.
That was
really showcasing it getting 4-0'd, but that's
we might have got clapped,
but
we'll be back stronger next time. Cool. Right, the players are ready to go. They're actually chomping at the bit to play, so we shouldn't keep them waiting too much longer. We'll let them know that we're ready to load in.
Yeah, onto Site Delta. Bit of a mouthful, actually. It's an interesting map. It's quite long, like kind of vertically long.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few good bases, I think, for the Terran to take. So I actually don't like the map very much. I think it's very, very good for Terran. But obviously, Iba deciding to let it through this time.
Yeah,
it should be a good
it's important to mention, we're going to be seeing a TVZ this time round, for those of you who don't know the players too well. Raza, Terran, and Iba obviously not playing off-race today. We're going to get to see Iba on stream playing his main race.
He did just troll me a little bit. I said, I'll play Terran. I said, don't play Terran. Please don't play Terran.
Iba,
please. Anyway, he isn't. He is, in fact, playing Zerg. I think he's played a couple warm-up games this morning, so hopefully he's coming in feeling fresh. And Raza, I just checked as well. He said, despite the chilly night, he slept okay, and it's feeling good for this one, I think.
Yeah, and while we're loading into the game, it's taking a little bit second longer than usual. Big shout out again to one of our sponsors, Asus, with these ROG monitors that we've got. Been really helping us out cast these matches and helping us see everything that's going on in the beautiful stream that we've got for you.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it?
The loading is taking a disturbingly long time. I'm hoping one of the players hasn't crashed. Iba is standing up.
Raza is tabbed out.
Yeah, this is not a good sign. I think we're not going to get into this lobby, so we're going to have to talk for a bit longer. You're not going to get to capture that Uxie. What about if we capture the Uxie on stream? Let's do it. Right.
Okay, this is
We've got some time to kill.
Okay.
So this is now content.
So
I'll kind of commentate. There's a shiny Uxie.
Yeah, I need to catch it.
You've given it some fruit.
I'm spinning the ball. I'm giving it fruit so that it likes me more.
It has love hearts.
I'm just spinning the ball, and what you have to do is throw the ball into the circle, and that improves your kind of.
Do you want a big circle or a small circle?
Small as you can get it.
Small as you can get.
That's too small, and I've missed.
You've missed.
But my catch chance is still good.
You've got Ultra Balls, to be fair.
It ran out.
How many attempts are you going to get?
One more. Well, the thing is, I'm burning all of my golden raspberries because.
I think it's worth it though. This is a golden Uxie.
So worth
it deserves the golden raspberries.
It's literally bright gold. I got a great throw.
A great throw.
And it's a spin.
It didn't even rock a single time.
I'm going to F4 up the game as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to kill the game. Raza's back on the main menu, and Iba looks frustrated. I'm sure we'll get into this game shortly. One of 2 things is going to happen. You're going to catch this Uxie, and we're all going to be stoked. Or we're going to get in the game, and we're also going to be stoked. Wait, 3 rolls? Yeah, let's go. We've had the capture. Uxie has been caught. This is the big gaming moments that you all come to EPIC41 with Intel to see. Look at that shiny Uxie. Apparently, we've got word from production. One of the players accidentally closed the game during the loading screen. I think this is stalling tactics. I think Iba was scared. Iba's seen Raza and thought, you know what, this old man, I was going to say Papatos, but he's not. He's a Papa Terran.
True.
You know,
I'm just so happy I got the Oxy.
he just needed that extra few moments to compose himself before he gets into the game.
Yeah, I'm just logging back it in.
We also accidentally closed the game, apparently.
Well, I auto-filled out because it was taking so long. I don't really know. There we go, getting the invite through
And
now.
yeah, the lobby's been recreated, so we'll be back on the way shortly here. So yeah, this should be the last round of 8 games to wrap up. So hopefully after this we'll be able to throw to a much shorter break and come back to you with some upper bracket action. Upper semi-finals action. I'm hoping we'll get to see the winner of Risky Jezu and Zane Moulton on this stream, because that's the side of the bracket that we haven't had a chance to look at yet. And I think that game could be a really exciting one, potentially a really consequential one as well for the winner of EPIC41 with Intel.
Yeah, I'm realising I'm not saying much. I'm trying to get everyone back
that's
into
why
the
I'm
game.
chatting absolute rubbish so that you don't have to speak. You're too busy riding the high of catching an Uxie, I think.
I'm so happy.
A shiny Uxie.
Yeah.
What were the odds?
What are the odds?
I don't know. I know in the game it's like 1 in 1,024 or something, I think, or
Yeah,
maybe
and
2048 now.
I think
They've
as well.
increased it. It used to be 1 in 8,096.
Yeah.
And they like quadrupled it in the more recent games, I believe.
Anyway, it was Iba that shut the game.
Iba,
so
I knew it.
Cool him out.
He was scared,
Good
and
job,
he's
Iba.
promised not to close it this time, which is, you know, the least we can expect of our players when they're on stream is to not close the game while it's running.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could be talking walkover territory here and just get rid.
Get Cryologic in the case. They'll sort it out.
Absolutely right. Look how quick it loads now. Amazing. You love to see it.
Something was definitely wrong. Okay, we're in the game at long last. We can finally intro the players. Do you want to take it away?
I will. I'll intro, playing in the blue, as he always seems to, for the Red Dragons, is Raza.
It's a bit of a contradiction there, don't you think?
Yeah, I thought they'd write into his contract that he'd have to play in the red. Oh, fantastic.
We've got a tech pause. It's been 11 seconds.
Got to check for another Uxie. Hang on.
Raza's piece, we're going to have another restart, I think. Do we want to throw back to Cam?
Let's bear with it a sec.
Yeah, we're getting a restart. Back to Cam we go. All right.
Actually, we'll look for
Up and down like a yo-yo.
Let's see. There's a Chronodos.
Yeah, another reason you should come to Epic LAN is apparently the conference hall is filled with Uxies.
Yeah, that's good advertising, actually.
Get down to the Kerrigan Conference Hall today. Even if you're not here, maybe buy a spectator pass. You can come in for one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catch a few Uxies and
be
on your merry way.
Help me take over the
gym. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's for sure. I'm going to get the map going again. If in case anyone's wondering, I'm
staring down.
So
at the screen.
avoiding eye contact.
No, yeah. I'm running out of things to talk about. What can we talk about?
You would just messaged me mad ?
Well, we didn't talk about with our sponsors last time, and obviously Overclock is one of the main sponsors. Another great sponsor that we have, providing these fantastic chairs that we've been sitting on behind us for the casting, is Noble Chairs. Been sitting on these chairs for many a year now here at Epic LAN, and they've always been very comfortable and very nice to use.
They are
so
good.
Big shout out to Noble as well for making our casting experience as comfortable as it has been.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still not saying anything.
So the only thing left, I think, at this point to really kind of round out the technical issues for this game is for the stream PC to crash.
Oh, that would be a
Because so far, both of the players have had different our producer is angry. I've upset our producer.
He says don't jinx it.
Yeah, sorry, Luna. I have now jinxed it. This is going to crash at some point during this game. But it's good to get that out of the way, I think, in the quarterfinals. You don't want that happening. You know, you're still playing Pokemon Go. You're not even managing the lobby at this point.
I'm waiting for Raza to log back in.
Iba's ready to play.
Yeah,
you're going to 1v1 Iba.
Yeah.
You're going to be playing Zerg, which is not the race Raza plays, so no one is going to believe this is Raza.
If they saw me playing Terran, they wouldn't believe it was Raza either.
No, it would be pretty. Sure. It would be pretty obvious, actually, in hindsight.
Yeah, I'm much better.
So let me look over the balcony. Raza is currently looking at a McLaren.
Oh, wait, do you know it's a McLaren?
Yeah, it's orange, so therefore it is a McLaren F1 car.
Do you know which year the driver?
It's not. Oh, that's a good question.
I'm
going to guess it's Lando Norris. I don't know. I can't see from here, but I'm going to. I don't know. Also, don't know what his helmet looks like.
Did George play for McLaren? Drive for McLaren?
He raced for Mercedes in their feeder team that I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. So I'm going to say no. I don't think George Russell has driven for McLaren, but also my F1 knowledge is ropey at best.
Oh, okay.
The good news is Raza is actually launching Starcraft now instead of F1 Simulator. So
we should hold the webcam over the balcony and see if we can show it on stream.
Let's not do that.
He's logging in.
This is riveting play-by-play commentary of Raza launching the game. You guys can't even see it.
It does look laggy, I'm not going to lie. At the moment it's... we just got into the game. We're on the main menu.
I figured out why it's laggy. He's using the 3D background on the main menu. Rookie error.
Not be. I have mine set to... Set to one specific one. I
Set
can't
to the
believe
Kerrigan one, obviously.
I don't have Raza on my
As
friends
a
list.
filthy Zerg player, you obviously love the Kerrigan background. Raza has unfriended you. This is going really well. And Raza's in the lobby. All
There
right.
we go.
This game will be getting underway soon, and we're definitely not holding up all the later rounds and stressing out our admin.
True.
But I think we're
Raza
good to
says
go.
very sorry. That's okay.
Just say you will be, and then get into the game. You're being way too polite. Just play Pokemon Go.
True. I'm going to start the game.
All right, the game is finally loading. Slight Delta, in case you've forgotten, is the map. Iba versus Raza, best of 5. And we're going to see who is going to advance into the upper bracket semi-final.
We need one of those director's boards. We go like take 3.
We need like outtakes. I mean, this whole stream so
Sound
far has been
rolling.
outtakes.
Yeah.
Absolutely no content or value provided whatsoever. But we're in the game.
We are at long last, and spawning in the top left, playing in the blue for Platinum Esports is Eva.
I bet I know what the problem is. They were using AMD CPUs. That's it. They should have been using Intel, and then this wouldn't have happened. And in the bottom right-hand corner, the champ himself, well, not reigning champ, but the old
champ.
Yeah, the old man, the 10-time finalist against Risky. How many times have they played in the
think
final,
it's
Risky
10,
and Raza?
yeah,
It's
might
a
be
lot of
10.
times. It's a lot of times, but Raza's an old hand at EPIC41. He's won his fair share. He's still having performance issues, but he's in red this time. We're going to pause again. Raza is not having a good go of it. I wonder what we can do.
I said, can you close uTorrent and Steam? He says, I did. So I'm out of ideas.
We're out of ideas. There's absolutely nothing else we can do.
I also don't know if it's PC thing or network, but I am seeing a lot of other people in game, and they are.
I don't think it's the network.
They
as
don't
we said
seem to be
before, the network here at
struggling.
Epic LAN has been rock solid. This LAN, I think it's likely going to be PC issues, and we'll have to see what we can do. Shall we throw back to Cam again, just so that we don't out the player's private chat
I
on
have to
stream?
stop
Stand up
playing
again.
Pokemon Go.
You actually, for once, you're not playing Pokemon Go.
But in my
I
head
think it was
am.
the thought of actually getting to cast some Starcraft that finally dragged you away.
It's all I'm here for, and I'm
It is all we're here
not
for.
able to. Tech coming. My ping is 500.
500 is not playable, so for people who don't know, Starcraft can be played on quite high ping. It's actually quite manageable. Like you can kind of do okay on around 200 ping.
Yeah, a lot of people play to like America or Korea server.
Yeah, America
and
East is
it's
absolutely
not
fine to
weird.
play. Korea is fine to play from here.
Yeah.
I mean, we have players Raza and Zayn, as well as T-Ball, have all represented, I think, Pakistan in previous WCS circuits. And they've
absolutely.
played on, the OCE servers. I can't remember what servers they were playing to, maybe like Taiwan or something. Not
Sounds right to me.
something like that. And they were able to compete, semi-professionally at the highest level in the OCE region, making top 8s and so on in that region. So ping isn't that big of a problem in StarCraft, but when your ping is 500, it does become basically unplayable. So we're going to let the players figure this one out, get some tech support on board.
Raza's still tabbed out. That's why we're looking.
The good news is the admin is down there and trying to help. The other good news is Raza sits next to the network switch.
Yeah, like literally.
I don't think
It's
he could be
his,
any closer to
his desk
the
mate,
source
yeah.
of his internet. So this hopefully will get resolved.
And luckily we
just a
have
tick.
already tried turning it off and on again. So that's like most of troubleshooting is kind of already done. That's good.
Something he says nice. Nice is a good sign. I like nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully we might be coming to a solution for the tech
Hopefully we
troubles.
sorted it. Headphones back on.
What? How
Okay.
was he connected?
From
Alright.
Wi-Fi? Okay.
He was playing without the internet, which is impressive. I think we should DQ him for incompetence, but Cryologic has A-okayed it. We're going to carry on 2-1.
I'm pausing the game so we can hop back in now.
It's going to be impressive if Iba wins 2-1 in a best of 5, but let's get into game 1 at long last.
So what I'm going to leak. Oh, I can't scroll up in the chat that far. Raza was playing without his Ethernet plugged in, so he was playing on Wi-Fi only, which is not the way to go here. Obviously, there's like a million Wi-Fi devices. Most of them playing Pokemon Go here in the arena.
Yeah.
Spawning in the bottom right for the Red Dragons is Raza.
In the red this time, very
Actually,
importantly.
yeah, I think that's because I like switched him around in the lobby. Now he is
He's probably livid right now.
playing in the red. Yeah.
That's why he tried to get the game remade.
We did see a 15-15 opener out of EBA, I will say. So, still no gases taken over here. It's similar to the one that we saw Fig do. Obviously, Fig was playing a little bit safer, just because he didn't know what his opponent was playing. So he kind of had to make that blind gas. EBA is making it much later. This is going to be a 17 gas, whereas I think Fig's was like 15 or so, basically. And we'll see like how well he saturates that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Raza did, completely standard actually for Raza. He doesn't really cheese. He did tell me yesterday.
He has been known to like proxy racks.
Yeah.
When the inspiration takes him.
With the need. He did tell me yesterday that he kind of had some ideas for an interesting build that he thought EBA might be particularly weak against. So that'd be interesting to see.
I seem to remember casting a Raza proxy racks in an Epic LAN final, a risky Raza Epic LAN final on the stage, and having to, it might even have been with you actually, it was either with you or Dane, and we were having to be very careful what we said, not to spoil said proxy racks.
Yeah, because the soundproofing is not always the best over there.
No, the stage setup is loud, and the players have a lot to deal with without having to worry about their builds being leaked. But here we come in and see if EPIC is going to be able to protect his drones.
Yeah, so the idea with this opening is that the Queen gets out early enough to kind of defend the Reaper, and in this case it hasn't really proven to be true. The Queen was slightly delayed, so EBA had to morph a couple spores there just to keep those drones alive. But, I mean, the cancel and the lost mining time on the spores is not as expensive as making lings would be. So in a way, EBA's kind of gotten away with it quite well, and he didn't lose any workers there, so pretty good showing so far for EBA.
Raza was trying to dance down the ramp, but the Queen stayed near enough by so that when the spores were cancelled, the drones were safe. Yeah,
just these three kind of bruised ones. You don't want them, like, doing a little loop-the-loop and circling back round to finish them off, so nicely handled there by EBA, zoning the Reaper out. 2 more Queens on the way, and he's completely managed to kind of bypass the Ling part of the game. So here's, only mining 1 on gas, which is interesting.
Not any interest in getting a quick speed?
Yeah, and it kind of shouldn't be like any really early Roach player or anything like that either. We can have a look over in Raza's base, and it is, of course, going to be the 3cc 111. That's very, very standard on the ladder. It's either this or it's like 2 racks, but 3cc has become really, really standard, especially of late. EBA getting the creep down, getting towards his third nice and early.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Raza does once he gets up to 4 Hellions and once that Liberator comes across the map. Obviously going to try and do some damage in the mineral lines where possible, but the Queens are making it tricky at the moment. They're doing a good job spreading that creep and also zoning these Hellions and Reaper out of the bases.
Yeah, and this build, I think I said in the Fig Mix series, it is really nice just for getting that really early Queen count really nice and high. So we already see 5, so EBA split those 2 and 2 into kind of both of the routes that the Hellions might poke in, and in that way he can be really, really safe and not taking any damage despite having skipped his army almost completely. Does have a few more Queens coming out now, so his injects will be nice and crisp still. I mean, he's missing this one by a little bit, but should all be very fine.
More racks is on the way now, kind of cementing that we're going to see a lot more Marines alongside this after the initial 6 Hellions, maybe? Yeah,
it's looking like a timing. That should be 4 racks total, which is quite standard for Raza. It's quite how he likes to play. Didn't see any Cyclones out, it's just the 6 Hellions, so that's kind of a bit interesting because we did see EBA playing his Terran and doing that kind of
It's funny seeing EBA on the other side of this time, right? We watched EBA try and play this matchup. Who was it against?
AC.
AC,
yeah. But it's always interesting when someone can off-race at such a high level and show such good understanding of both sides of the matchup, and always off-racing is something I recommend to anybody who's trying to improve and learn the game a bit better.
A bit sloppy there.
A bit sloppy on that Hellion. Could have just sent that home and repaired.
I agree with what you said about off-racing though, right? Like you can get in your own get so in your own head about how your race plays and what you need to do, but actually understanding what the opponent is doing can sometimes enlighten you, help you discover things that you wouldn't have thought of, maybe opportunities that you could exploit against that race.
Yeah, you're exactly right. For me, it's because I have been playing quite a lot of Stormgate, and I'll face a build and I'll be like, I can't beat this. There's nothing that's good against this. And I'll go and ladder with it. And then sometimes they'll beat it, and I'll be like, oh, that's a really good way.
What did this person do? I should learn from that, yeah.
And sometimes they'll say, I don't know how to beat this. And I say, me neither,
Same.
That's why I'm playing it. And then and then we go next.
Yeah.
But, it's sort of that same kind of idea. I find for StarCraft, again, it's been out for much longer, obviously. It's really interesting to figure out what's really annoying to play against. And it's there might be a unit that you never really use, and then when you're playing the other side of the kind of coin, you're like, oh, lurkers are unbelievably irritating to play against this Terran. I'm going to start making more lurkers.
Why am I not making lurkers? Exactly. So the game's established itself a bit more. We've got the Zerg up to 4 base, the Terran up to 3 base. The Terran switching into making tanks to kind of accompany his Marines. Some medevacs on the way as well to keep them nice and healthy. And on the Zerg side, we've got Banelings on the way, we've got Centrifugal Hooks on the way, and we've got, I think, a Hydra Den, but yeah, it's now finished as well.
Just trying to do a quick count. That's 8 racks, right? Yes, okay. I thought it was 9. And 9 you can't afford. 9 isn't a thing.
Okay.
And I didn't think Raza would do something like as kind of weird as being like, oh, I'm going to play 9 racks. But 8 racks you can afford, and it's a very, very heavy bio pressure, like bordering on all-in. It's interesting he's sticking with tanks, because quite often against Ling Bane you'd rather play Widow Mines, but Raza obviously happy with the tanks and instead investing heavy into the bio and going to head out on the map. Eba looks really ready for it. He's already got himself set up nicely with a bunch of Lings, a bunch of Banes.
Does he have any spores? He doesn't really need them, but I'm just curious.
Should have skipped them, actually, yeah.
That's what I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, we did see one lib earlier, but like I said, that queen count is really so healthy. You can deal with that lib way easier with pulling queens than you can with the spores. Eba's wanted to get these rocks down. Those 3 tumors just lined up perfectly for the Hellions. So we'll send his queens to rock on that and keep his Lings nice and safe. As Raza is going to clear some creep in this kind of central area of the map. We actually see a huge amount of run by for Eba. There's a lot of supply over on this side, but obviously with the army that he's kept home, he's very sure that he can.
Has Raza got much of a wall? He's been building a supply depot wall on the left side to kind of protect that mineral line. The Ling's gone and scouted to see what the situation is, and he sees, you know what, there is a gap here. It'll be interesting to see as Raza pushes forwards, if he strays onto creep again, does that when Eba throws those Lings and Blings into that 3rd base?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Eba might wait until the kind of engagement happens, so Raza's attention is so divided, or he might come for the surround. It does look like he's going to go for the run by.
And they're coming into that 3rd. That gap in the wall is going to be exploited. The Lings get right in there on top of the few Marines. There's not really a siege tank to even help. The Banelings kind of not doing anything. They're actually just all exploding on supply depots, which isn't great, but all of the SCVs at the 3rd are dead.
Yeah, plenty of Lings there to clear up the SCVs. The Banes actually got kind of...
I didn't see
the
aggro
got pulled by the bunker, so they kind of went this way and then got aggro pulled, and then Eba just sent them back. But a really nice move for Eba, going up 17 worker kills already.
Doubling the worker supply of Raza now. So Raza, you know, he's in a sticky situation economy-wise. He's got to try and get something done with what he has out on the map.
Yeah, like I said, you can afford 8 racks off of 3 base, but he doesn't have 3 bases. He's basically on 2 now, so he really actually can't afford all the production he made, and he is really like forced all in here. He's not making any more, well, he's making 1 more SCV behind this. He's not really trying to macro out, instead going to try and push his luck with the push here. But honestly, Eba looks so ready, and we see units coming for the surround, 3 angles from the front. This looks really good for Eba.
All of the tanks are getting jumped. The surround from behind was absolutely brutal, as you said. The Banelings all connecting, but only 1 tank left. There's so many Lings left over. The trickle of Marines are all going to go down. This is looking pretty bad. Yeah,
Eba even morphing more Banes behind, so he never really runs out. Or was that burrowed as well that I missed? Absolutely crazy, but Eba's wiping this fight, and I think he's going to wipe this game. After all of the delays, and the game is nearly over.
I think the delays were significantly longer than the game was. But thankfully this is a best of 5, and it's not over for Raza yet in the upper bracket.
Eba showing his absolute dominance here, you know, got his bases, even these outside ones, established with really no harass at all. Now he can just pump Lings and Banes, you know, maxing out and then trading really efficiently. So, yeah, I think he's in a really kind of like happy spot in this game. He, I think, only made 1 Hydra. Okay, now up to a few more. Might go towards the Lurkers, but honestly I don't see a real need to. He's getting the Hive on the way, but I think that will probably just be for Adrenal and +3, and he probably won't worry about the Lurkers in this game at all, actually.
Another Ling run by going into the natural. The supply depot's down. It's just going to be chaos. It's all on top of the production now. The rest of Raza's SCVs are going to die. The tank's trying to best to block the ramp, but there's just going to be so much damage here.
Yeah, a good job kind of walling the main off, though obviously losing a tank for that one. Does have to bring his whole army home, and this triggers Eba. Let's go for it. You know, he's not on the map. He's you know, his whole thing is in disarray. None of his tanks will be sieged in the right position. So
the 3rd is open again. That's where all the 3 of the mules are. That's every single mule that Raza currently has on the map.
Not sure what Raza was microing there, but he eats big Bane hits on the front. Even the CC starting to burn down. Which is looking rough for Raza. Another 21 workers going down.
Raza has a quarter of the number of workers of Eba at this point. It's only a matter of time till he taps out. I think he's just kind of composing himself, thinking about maybe what to do in the next game so that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I think you can't help but feel that in this game. It's like, yeah, what are we doing next? even being really irritating, landing or burrowing a Ling under the CC. He's even started to set up kind of Baneling, burrowed Baneling landmines at C.
I don't think. Oh.
Okay. I mean, this one kind of passed under, but it takes 2 to kill the Marine, so
yeah, they didn't quite go over it. I don't think Razorreason has enough SCVs in his third to repair it at the moment. I think he did just transfer some. Yes, it just survived. It was on the verge of burning down. He's going to try one last push, I think, before he taps out.
Yeah, but it's David versus Goliath. We're 100 supply up for Eba, so he's setting up a really nice now surround with these Hydras from the backside. Raza kind of trying to push his luck at the front, but this army is going to
be so good at picking up all the reinforcements as the Marines trickle across one at a time. It's just like blah, blah, blah. Oh, the Baneling goes off, and that's it. That's enough for Raza. He's out of the game.
I'm going to rewind. Hang on.
We need to. All right, yeah,
bear with,
let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. I'm glad you caught that on camera.
I did. I want to get it nice and center. And this is such a nice move. You know, have these Baneling landmines here the whole game, and then
bait the army back over. Like he's standing right on top of them as well, making 100% sure.
You know, he see him push in here. He starts to harass this. Rather than okay, I've got to come back. I've got to defend my base. And right as he does,
look at that ball of Marine. Oh my goodness.
That's all she wrote. Game number 1.
GG's Iba. Yeah, that was a dominating game. That looked really strong. And if Iba can play like that every game, this could be a very quick 3-0. We're going to get into game number 2.
We are. They're already
going to be back on our favourite map, Oceanborn. Bring back the ocean physics. Bring back the big... what even is it? Fish.
Yeah, little space shark thing. I think it was that little shark that we saw swimming on Cloud Kingdom. And it's all grown up now.
Oh, yeah. That's a lovely story. A nice, heartwarming story here at Epic Land.
Yeah, absolutely right.
On with Intel.
So, game number 2. Nice and quick, no messing around. Raza not saying, like, "Oh, I need a break."
I need to watch the replay. My PC's lagging again.
It was us watching the replay, in fact.
We were delaying the game. Down. And we're in game number 2. Do you want to do the honours?
Spawning in the top left, back in the blue. He can't help himself. Playing for the Red Dragons is Raza.
And in the bottom right corner, now in the red trunks, it is the young gun himself. It is Iba.
Same extractor trick as we saw in game 1, so it's clearly like a build he's pretty comfy with and likes quite a lot. Yep. He's very happy to play this 15-15 style. It'd be interesting actually, and I talked to you about it in the past, about not being predictable and how you should always mix up your play, go for something that people won't expect you to do. And there's some power in that, even when you're like playing reactive macro, because people can cut so many corners and assume that they know what you're doing because you always play the same way. And to that end, I think, you know, if you can adapt this opener that people are like, oh, I know what this is. He did this last game. And then you're like, no, it's not. I'm making 2 guesses behind it. It's a random number of roaches. And I know that you're cutting so many corners trying to get, you know, the eco lead, trying to catch up, trying to get the edge over on me. I can catch you out and get one over. And I think there's a lot of power in that, and I would really, I don't know, let's see if Eva kind of adjusts his play and does something a little bit different.
Yeah, it could, you know, it could be something we see later on in the upper bracket.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the quarterfinals, when Iba's got to be feeling pretty good after that game 1, right? He won it pretty comfortably. No need to necessarily rock the boat, no need to show your hand.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's always a good saying.
Yeah. It's going to be fast 2 gas out of Raza, so this could be something interesting.
Raza feels the need to change, maybe.
Yeah, maybe meching or something. Unsure. One to keep an eye on for sure. Eba actually is diverging a little bit. We already have 8 Lings on the way. These are just slow Lings. But obviously, I don't know, it's not like Raza is really expecting a bunch of random Lings in his nap. I think he skipped the Reaper as well.
Yeah, he did skip the Reaper, which is unusual. Raza almost always does a Reaper. I don't think I've seen Raza skip a Reaper in a long time, but the Lings are going to go the long way around, which says to me he doesn't want Raza to know about them.
Yeah, so the idea is to dodge the Reaper, but there isn't one.
Was he? Oh, okay. I was also thinking, could he be looking for a proxy?
So the Reaper should be coming through the middle. Oh, this is actually really smart. It's another magnet. This is really smart.
Oh, he's baiting the Marina.
I think I mentioned this on stream. Basically, the pillar for this map is here. So Eba's like, oh no, my Overlord. Oh, never mind.
Surprise, 8 Lings in your face.
There's actually 8 Lings. Actually, you don't have a Reaper, so you actually can't hold this.
All the boys are coming.
Going to be the boys. Let's see how many work it kills. Not bad micro from Raza so far. 2 go down, but still a lot of Lings left alive.
These all could die. Those 4 are all going to die. Yeah, look at them all go.
5, 6, 7.
Oh my, this is terrible for Raz.
This is
absolutely
exactly
disastrous.
what I'm talking about. You go with the same build, and Raz is like, okay, I know what he's going to do. He's going to open that like hatch first. It's going to be a really nice macro play. I'm going to skip the Reaper. I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then Eva just sneaks those legs around the map. You see exactly now why basically everyone always makes a Reaper, because you need it.
You need it.
Those worker kills nice and early. You can kind of see trading so efficiently for Eva. This is only like 4 SCVs cost equivalent.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy.
And like the thing with losing the SCVs over losing the Lings, like it's not just the cost of the SCVs, it's the lost opportunity cost of what they would have mined and the time it takes you to rebuild them.
Absolutely.
So it's way more painful. It's more than double the cost that you're seeing there in that graph.
Yeah, and it's actually really interesting as well because Raza isn't playing 3cc because he went fast 2 gas, so it's actually really fast BCs on the way.
Yeah.
But if he'd been 3cc,
went behind BCs.
Yeah. But I think he'd always planned to play the BCs, and it was just that what I'm saying is that like if he was playing 3cc, he could catch up in that worker camp much more quickly. But because he isn't, and he's already been mining so much gas, he's having to try and make BCs from behind.
Yeah.
And that feels not great at
feels
all.
Bad,
yeah.
man.
So Raza going to play this one out, and I can't blame him at all. And I know it's interesting, the BCs in this spot. Ebo obviously got his third behind this. That was literally just 8 slow lings, and we're not making any more than that. We don't need any more than that. And again, I think his queen count is really healthy, so the BCs may not have much kind of purchase in this game. But, I can't blame Raza for playing it out. It's possible he just, like, teleports the BC in, and it dies straight away to loads of queens, or it gets 20 worker kills and he's back in it, so fair enough to him for that one. But
yep, going to give it a go.
I'm not seeing
and
I'm
not going to complain about getting to see some BCs here on the Epic Land stream.
That's for sure. So he has the core finish. Can we get a BC started?
He's shot on gas, but there it goes. Finally on the way. The Cattle Bruiser will be joining the battle in just a moment.
It's actually insane. Even making blind spores.
Oh my god.
But obviously the only scouting he had
was
what
did he
from
see?
the start of the game. He didn't even see the second gas.
He didn't even see the second gas. What the hell?
I mean, he might be not seeing the third CC and realize what it is. It's possible he's just dotting his I's, crossing his T's, and you just think like, right, the only way I lose this is...
He's that far ahead, he can afford to spend the money on a few spores, right? So
yeah, the only way I lose this is from Banshees or BCs, so let's
just prepare for them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's still going to be ahead afterwards. He's got a 20 worker supply lead, and that's going to, stay that way for quite a while.
Yeah, he did get Ling speed, but now switching heavy into the roaches, and that's because he's seeing so many of these cars out and about, and there are even more on the way. So I'm a bit worried, and I think he does need to get some units started now. This Ling pack doesn't look quite big enough to kind of defend these Hellions, but especially because as soon as the BC is done, it's going to teleport into Eba's base. He needs to pull the queens to deal with it, and it's at that point that the Hellions
right?
Yeah, so it's a double threat with this build.
Yeah, I mean, Raz is smart. He knows what he's doing, how he wants to get this two-pronged attack done. Oh, it's actually going to come right into the front. It's not going to go into the middle lines. It's just going to support the Hellions and try and fight the queens head-on. I'm not sure I like that, but we'll see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, the risk is always that there's blind spores and then you're teleporting on top of the spores. Hellbat switch, which I didn't even see the armory. Nope. Let's see if anything is done here. Eva is focusing down the battlecruiser with the queens, and it is going to have to ski daddle. We do have the roaches coming through, kind of reinforcing.
Too many queens, too many transfusers, and this is done pretty much diddly squat.
Yeah, Raz actually even accidentally running a few marines across the map, and they're going to get hoovered up for free as well. Yeah, I think that's about how we expected it to go. I think the roaches are nice for Eva, and I think they help against the Hellbats a lot. But honestly, I think if he didn't have the roach warren and he just had to like pump straight lings, I think he also would have won that fight pretty convincingly.
We see Iba responding with a Spire of his own in case the battlecruiser numbers get out of hand. He can get some Corruptors to shoot those down. But yeah, still in a rough place here. Raza getting a supply block is nice. Hunting those Overlords with the battlecruiser that survived on like 2 hit points. It would be cool to see it repaired. I assume that's next on the agenda.
Yeah, there we go. But again, he's losing mining time to repair these, and costs still to repair. Yeah. Eba's starting to float a bit. I think this might not even be Corruptors. I think it might be Muters.
Oh, okay.
And Muters aren't the best against battlecruisers, but we're at the stage of the game where like it's 2 BCs, and Eba has the economy for a lot of units. He has dumped some of the gas now into roaches, so yeah, there's the Corruptors coming through. It's going to be like a pretty normal Ling, Roach, Corruptor kind of push to try and finish Raza off with a little bit of hope. And I think it will kill him, honestly. There's just no tanks here, so he can't do anything about the roaches. Obviously, already we're seeing the Roaches get a nice kind of pick off on some of these Hellions. Even the repairing SCVs actually accidentally got pulled and are going to get taken out. And then we've got Corruptors then actually going up to like 9 or so, I think, to take out the Battlecruiser, and then that's kind of checkmate.
Yeah, the Yamato cannon, I don't even know if it's going to go off this game. I mean, I really hope it does, but we'll have to wait and see. They're always good fun when we get to see some Yamatos being dropped on Queens. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they are really annoying against the Corruptors as well. Obviously, they're like your key anti-air, and you show up, you're like, I've got 9 Corruptors. Oh, never mind, I've got 6.
I have significantly fewer Corruptors all of a sudden.
Yeah.
In fact, the Corruptors are going to go in. I think they've both got their teleport ready, so if they need to get out of here, they can piece. But yeah, there they go.
Yeah, not good though. Taking half of the damage on the BC before it's even you check at the damage on the Corruptors, and they're like
full health.
Yeah.
They're vibing.
Used condition, but like good, So
yeah, you could sell that on eBay for nearly full price. You've lost the box, but you've still got all the parts.
Definitely. With a little transfuse as well, that'll buff out.
Yeah, exactly. You just give it a dust, wipe it with a Death Cell wipe, and then no one's going to know any of the difference from a smoke-free home. So
forces Razov's a really weird spot. He's having to make turrets to defend against the Corruptors. We see one Yamato coming through.
We saw one Yamato. I am now happy. This game can end.
Bollards,
Raza can tap out. I don't think Iba is at all bothered about the missile turrets.
No, exactly right. I mean, 1 gets taken out, 2 gets taken out, but no teleports on those BC. So Corruptors actually have kind of done their job, and now this is kind of wasted resource, but now the ground army is pretty much uncontested.
Once again, it's resources that Iba can afford, right? Just like the Spores, they haven't shot a single... what do Spore Crawlers shoot? Spores, I suppose. The Spore Crawlers haven't shot a single Spore, but they were money well spent, because if those Cattle Bruisers had just teleported into one of the bases and tried to catch up on the worker supply, well, they would have had a horrible time of it until the Queens got back.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Iba kind of plans this fight. There's not many tanks here. I think he has enough bios for most of them. It's 3 for a tank, so that's 3. Yeah, so he has enough for 4 tanks, so long as he does the bios well. As I say that, there's 2 more tanks. Right? But yeah, I think he just is going to play this slow as you like. Banelings, few more Lings on the way. Neural on the way, Great Aspire on the way, so we can actually use the Corruptors for broods. And it's Iba's game now. I was going to say to lose, but I don't think he will lose it. I think he's kind of got all of the pieces in place that this is going to be pretty methodical. You sometimes see like the meme of Terra and GG timing, and then sometimes they stay in the game and they win it from what looks like impossible odds, but sometimes the odds
Mules are a hell of a drug.
Yeah, this is Mules and Stim, they're very easy to get addicted to, but in this case I think it is just...
we're seeing the planetaries coming out there for real, so, a planetary for Tords, we saw the damage that can do against Iba last night.
That's for sure. I'd like just a Viper. Like if it just made, like, I don't know, 3 Vipers and just rolled in, Blinding Cloud all this, A move it. Is going to do at least some of that with the A move coming through now.
Yeah,
so Bio's going down his tanks to start the fight off.
He's been on 200 supply for quite a while. It's time to start trading these Roach Ravagers for something a bit better, I think. They're going to come in and do as much as they can. Clean up all the tanks, which is going to be really painful for Raza. They might even get the planetary, but the repair is going to keep it alive for as long as it can.
Yeah, unfortunately for Raza, you can bio to make the workers stop repairing, and that should mean he gets migrate. A really nice trade for Raza, though, I can't lie. But
it actually is going to hold until the Corruptors decide to pee all over it. There's nothing here that can stop that from happening, and so it will finally go down.
The cost efficiency was absolutely insane, though. And that's why Eva, I guess, doesn't attack in. That was this entire Roach count, all of these Banes, all of these Ravs going down. It's so much gas. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. The good news was that Iba was starting to build a bank, so he's already remaxed, and he still has more money in the bank than Raza. He's still earning more money than Raza. So, like, yes, he can afford to take these bad trades. What he can't afford to do is do this for the entire game. Again, the match last night, it sort of saw what can happen if you just keep trading badly and badly and badly against a Terran that's turtling. I'm sure that's in the forefront of Iba's mind, actually. Might be persuading him to go for broods, which I think is something he didn't do yesterday, if I remember right.
Yeah, you don't want the broods into the ghosts, and especially not into a decent enough Thor count, but he's sitting now with the broods when the Thor count is quite low, so he really should be kind of the nail in the coffin, but I do keep saying that, and Raza keeps weathering the storm, but...
Yeah, fair play to Raza for sticking it out and trying to make this game work. It's been really impressive to see him turn a pretty disadvantaged situation into like a 12-minute game that may keep going if this Thor keeps getting repaired.
It's honestly hilarious how this goes.
The Lings are finally going to come in and stop that from happening, thankfully.
I mean, we were just burning Queen energy, so it was actually a decent trade. We're trading energy for minerals at that point. He's going to keep rolling forward with his Ling Roach Ravager balls. The Broods come through to help out. And that's going to be all she wrote for game number 2.
Yeah, they're taking a quick 2-0 lead in the series. Again, looking absolutely fantastic today. Bounced back really well. Yeah, excited to see how far he's going to be able to go in this tournament. There's a good shout. There's a few people out there, I think, that have Iba penned as a favourite potentially to even take the whole Epic LAN.
I think with the form he's in now, it's looking really good. We saw in that game he's playing very solid, very standard Starcraft,
and yeah, like you said, he mixed it up, right? He did what looked like the same opener and then went, actually,
Thank
surprise,
God.
Raza,
yeah,
you've got 8 lings in your base. They're slow lings, but they're going to absolutely cripple your economy.
I mean,
that loss at the end of the game came back to that moment. It really all spiraled out of control,
it's
like
a snowball.
dominoes.
Yeah, a snowball for sure. And thank God, he's not the one-trick pony playing like, really boring, really predictable. He is, switching things up, changing things all over the shop, really early ling pressure out of nowhere. Getting a little bit lucky in that game that Raza didn't have a Reaper, but honestly, like, even if he did, I think the damage would have been
It would have still been pretty tasty, I think, for Iba there.
And it was the magnet. It's all about the magnet.
All about those magnets.
And then this is what's really nice. You start to see those, like, map-specific builds. It's not like, I've got something for this opponent, I've got something for this map. And that seems to be what Raza is thinking as well. So
do you remember when we said Raza occasionally chooses?
Yeah, when it calls for it.
I think he's thrown in the towel. He's like,
It's time to
right,
achieve.
let's get this series back on track. Let's proxy 2 racks and see how we get on
And
with
the
it.
win rate for this build in tournaments has got to be insane. It's very strong.
It'll be interesting to see if Iba builds some lings and how he routes them, because he would have stumbled across this, I think, in the last game had Raza chosen to do it in game 2. Let's update the score really quickly.
Oh, yeah, you're completely right.
Iba's got the 2-0 lead in this best of 5, and yeah, I'm really, really curious if this gets scouted. The second Overlord might fly over it, actually. He's probably going to find out pretty...
This is something I do as well, actually, and I leave it here because you could send it around to look, and you might be getting proxied up here, it might be down here. If you don't send it anywhere, then you definitely see the bunkers, and then you see 100% of the time, as opposed to, your odds get weirder and weirder the more like...
Yeah, and given how slow Overlords move, you don't want to be trying to get back, and this is a good idea. So we see the first Marine on the way, second Rax is finishing. Is there going to be anything else?
Should be a third Rax. This
There
is
it
a
is.
really
It's
like
already on
all-in
the way.
version
Yep,
for
yep.
Raza.
I'd missed the other Marine.
Oh,
SCV.
He's got his SCV stuck. Unfortunate. That is just RNG because it's how the SCV kind of bounces around while it's building.
Yep. Luckily, Terran do have a get out of jail free card, which is that they can lift their buildings, and here comes the Overlord spotting what is happening. So Iba knows at this point, troubles are brewing. It's time to build some lings as soon as that spawning pool finishes.
Yeah, and it's going to be done in just a few seconds. It's not obviously like the earliest possible scout that you can have for Iba, but early enough, and it does let you get on top of these bunkers. Good drone drilling.
We need the start-to-step micro to be on point from Raza here. He's dodged for now, didn't get the surround. That's good, but he is going to lose a Marine.
Yeah, would love to see Iba pull some of these weaker drones back. There's just no need to keep like these really red ones fighting here for too long. And he does pull it back, but after losing 8, this is looking good for Raza.
He's looking good, but the bunker's not going to finish. And I think now the lings are out, it's going to be very hard. It's going to get destroyed. It didn't even get cancelled. So
yeah, really nice.
that's a little bit loss of money. He's going to try again. And there's 3 Marines at a time coming out now to contest with these lings.
Yeah, Raza being a bit brave there, actually stepping onto creep, and he, you can't even really stuff to step off creep, so does need to be a bit careful. Actually, the SCV getting taken out on this bunker, it's starting to look like a decent hold for Iba after all. I think the pulling the drones and losing so many was rough, and I do really think he should have microed that a bit better, and he could be, probably 3 or 4 workers ahead, and then you're just really far ahead in this game. But, he's bought enough time for the lings to get out and now the queens to get out. This, though, like I said, is the all-in version. So there's like proxy 2 racks where you can normally actually go for like Hellions behind it, and it's not that all-in at all. 3 racks and 4 racks are mega all-in, and Raza is stuck kind of on this side of the map. So
he's trying to build SCVs in the background because I think he realizes he's not getting through the front anymore.
Yeah, so I think he just cancelled some Marines that were building CC coming down on the other side of the map. It's because Iba kind of is respecting the aggro possibility, actually getting a second spine on the way, but the first one already done. Keeping the queens at the front, banking the energy on them, not wasting it on injects or anything. So yeah, he's giving a lot of what do you call it? Respect to this build, especially because Raz actually had a Brax down here, so Iba only saw 2.
Yeah,
and then what can happen is you've seen 2, and you're like,
cancels one of them.
It's a 2 rack.
Cancel both of the spines. No, one.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
one of them
spines
finished. He just cancels the spare one. So he's now seen that the
Raxes have gone.
Racks are gone.
Cool.
So let's see what Raza has in mind. Like I said, this is like quite all in, to be honest. It's not really a light pressure macro build, as Terrans like to meme about basically any Terran build. Raza going for
Raza's
a 3
double
CC behind
expanding,
this.
yeah.
I think he really needs to, just to try and get back in this game.
He's going to have a trouble holding against a number of Lings that are now doing absolutely nothing for Iba. Speed isn't going to finish for a while, so he has that working in his favour.
Yeah, I think Iba might still go for it and try and force Raza to kite a little bit. Yeah, I mean, that's, shouldn't trade anything there, no losses on either side. So Iba going to head home, keep droning. Would love to see him get a third hatch down, now that he should be, a little bit more comfortable, a little more confident that he's, like, not getting mega giga cheesed when, Raza could, like, re-hide the racks and then keep making more Marines and then pull all the boys. And the natural CC kind of says that that's not the case. So there we do have a third on the way, Ling speed on the way, and then I'm interested to see where Iba takes this. Honestly, you can see by this supplies pretty easily. He's at a nice kind of edge in this game, and I'm keen to see how he kind of plays it out. Does he try and close it out? He could go for like a big roach swell, and Raza is only on 3 racks, so can only really have Marines. No factories on the way, and it's 3 CC, so that factory is some way away. Or does he kind of play it more slowly like we saw in the game before this, and even get to those broods and that sort of thing?
Yeah, the worker supply starting to edge towards the doubling numbers for Iba. Getting that third base down, as you said, macroing up, drone count exploding. Raza's still having to play it safe though, right? He's had to build a bunker at the front just in case. He can salvage that and get some of the money back at least. But yeah, it's going to be tricky to transition out of this for Raza.
Yeah, it's going to be the Bane Nest. I think that's fine. I think he should go for Evos before too long and, get some more gas mining going, get another base going, and really kind of cement his lead in this game. But obviously we can see everything, and Iba needs to be a little bit careful that he's, that his opponent isn't being really tricky and up to no good. He is going to send this Overlord on kind of a scout path. This came from the pillar over here, so he has to send it all the long way around to see. And I think it won't be really surprising that Raza's playing 2 racks. It's not surprising for 2 reasons. Firstly, Raza loves playing 3 racks. The second reason is that he already had 3 racks, so if you smoke him if you got him type deal. It is going to be the Rector on the factory, and then he's going to switch this over to start pumping some medevacs out to support these Marines. So I think it's just going to be like quite a big bio push. And to that end, we do have a lair coming out so that we can get Bane speed nice and quick for Iba as he goes and grabs his 4th over in the triangle position down here in the bottom left of the map.
Yeah, Iba's got that scout in. Feels pretty safe to take that expansion at this point. It's building a large number of Lings at the moment, starting to build up some Banes as well. So I don't know if he's going to try and use those to harass as Raza puts down his 3rd, because he did scout that third's sitting there in the main and not yet been floated over. So it's a good kind of timing to hit that as it lands when it's unprotected, when Raza has to move up with his Marines. Also gives an opportunity to Raza's going to have to lower his walls, lower his defenses a bit, and you can do a run by into the main at the same time as well.
Yeah, you need enough units to cover all of the area that constitutes your base, right?
Yeah.
And now adding an expansion increases the area that makes up your base. This is what I like about playing Zerg, is you actually don't need to do that. Because of Creep, you can just like have fewer units and get them there quicker. As Terran, you need to have kind of units stationed everywhere.
You need to know that every entry point at every one of the places you're trying to defend and make sure that they're
bunkers
covered.
And walls.
Building lots of walls is the key, absolutely. You see Raza already making work on that. He's building those supply depots over there to start protecting that 3rd base, basically, from the ramp on the right.
Yeah, and the best defense is a good offense. This is often said. And to that end, Raza's moving out on the map now with 40
look at that timing. He just hit 4
maybe even 5
creep tumors. 5 creep tumors for free. You love it. Didn't even use a scan.
Yeah, he's going to get in before Bane speed is done. He does need to be a bit careful that it doesn't finish while he's attacking. Obviously, that would be really nasty surprise for him.
Yeah.
Iba feeling the pressure a little bit. Obviously now just going to commit heavy into Lings and into Banes, kind of taking the worker lead that he's built up. Really actually nice, setting up the run by into the 3rd that he now knows Raza has gone for.
And that's the thing, like, there's not enough medevacs here for Raza to get back. A lot of these Marines are going to get dumped when this, attack comes into the 3rd. He's not going to be able to bring everybody home. Then they're going to get picked off by the Lings that are still at Iba's 3rd. And here come the Lings into that base right now.
Yeah, good response from Raza, obviously just grabbing his reinforcements over here. But he does pull his whole force back. Part of that, I think, is because he doesn't want this to get dived on while it's out on the map and on Iba's side of the map. Iba does have some Banes morphing over here in the top right, so he will revisit that 3rd base and see what he can get done there. But I think Raza kind of knows now where his weaknesses are, and he can kind of reinforce those and shore those up, and hopefully then Iba shut the door to Eva's kind of aggro on his side of the map.
So we see the 2 medevac hit squad going around trying to clean up some creep. They're going to stim, cancel all those banelings, get some creep tumors. They don't want to go up that ramp. That's a lot of banelings. Oh my god, they picked up just in time.
Still 4 Marines for a couple of Banes is a decent enough trade for Eva. Supplies are really starting to even out, but that's really just because Eva's banking, and I don't really know why he's banking.
Maybe he's thinking about some tech and just hasn't decided what yet. He is getting the Hydra Den, right?
I don't think so. I think he skipped
he
so
skipped
far.
it this time.
So this to me kind of says quick ultras, probably.
Yeah.
Wait, which upgrade did he get? Yeah, only Carapace so far, so melee on the way now, no range upgrades or anything like that. He's grabbing a base up here, macro hatch in the middle. I don't see why he wouldn't take this base as well. You know, you've got the money, you might as well grab it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not sure what that pick up and drop and unsiege, resiege.
It's still in the dance, the Terran dance.
Keeping that tank on his toes, I think.
They've got to keep him warm.
Do you not think it'd be like massively like seasick, medevac sick? Do you not think? Like you're in a tank in a plane, it must be.
You'd be swinging around off the bottom of it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So as Raza pushes out here, we do need to remember there are a bunch of banelings sitting in that 4th base location. They're moving into the 3rd now. In fact, it's a 2-pronged attack from Iba. There's lings coming in on the other side into the natural. The wall is up though. Will the banelings get a lot of kills? Yes, 12 SCVs go down in total. Raza does pull back. That was an awful time for him to move out, and now the bust has gotten into the natural and on top of the other SCVs.
Yeah, this breaking down this wall was a little bit slow from Eva. He could even go for the engineering bay and deny that upgrade. But, you know, he does eventually get through. Takes, like, slightly a worse trade than he basically could have optimally. Actually, really risky from Raza, leaving these tanks out in the middle of the map. But, as you said, Eva gets into this mineral line, into the natural mineral line. That's 30 workers going down, and Raza is all in. So, he could even pull the boys. Let's go. Let's send it.
This is very reminiscent of Game 1. Raza out on the map. Going to have to go for it and just see if he can get something done.
Yeah, unlike in Game 1, he's now scanning ahead of his army and checking for those baneling landmines. He did grab 2 there on this round. Let's not run into those again. It's going to be the high for really fast Vipers here for Eva. I think he just wants to fly in, blinding cloud the tanks, and then kind of A-move the rest of his army. He's setting up a really nice surround with these lings over on the right-hand side as his main force, obviously, in the center of his rally point through here.
I think Raza is cognizant. Yeah, it was a run by. I think Raza is cognizant of the surround because he's got such a beautiful 4-sided surround last time that hopefully that doesn't happen again. But the run by is doing yet more damage.
Yeah, no adrenal on these lings and only +1, so they're not, getting a huge amount of value. Forcing a scan is nice. Once again, Raza's just moving his CC around.
Up, down, up, down.
3 tanks in the middle of the map for Eva. I think just the one there, actually. Would love to see him burrow some of these, like, Banes. Just don't let Raza see you do it.
The Vipers are here now.
Yeah.
There's 2 burrowed there.
2 just on the ramp. Just keep an eye on them. So, Eva needs to be careful. Yeah, losing 1 for 3 is not what you want at all. But Eva's going to come in from both sides, see if he can get the Baneling hits he needs. It's so many lings. There is the blinding cloud on those tanks. The Marines have to keep running away as Eva actually is not cleaning up the fight on the right. He should get the fight on the right should be fine, sorry. Not getting the fight on the left that he wanted. Actually a decent trade for Raza. Eva is really struggling to spend his money. He just needs way more hatches.
Yeah, it's strange. He's sitting on a huge mineral bank and he's not maxed anymore, and he's, like you said, struggling to get the number of lings and blings out that he needs. Raza's trading really effectively. This is quite interesting.
Yeah, really effectively, in fact, yeah. Interesting to see.
Like Raza's workers, he hasn't really replaced any of the workers, those 30 workers he's lost. Since then, he's been at a half worker deficit to Iba, but his army supply is now outstripping that of Iba, which is insane to see on such a poor economy.
Just got sniped. He has to give this base up, and it's not really one he can afford to give up, mostly because of the production. He's just so, like, mineral banked.
That's more lava down the drain.
Raza really turning it on in this game after, a bad start and then a bad mid-game. Looking to get into a good late game. Finally, Eva will take this base.
It's going to be really hard to hold. Like, he struggled to hold the macro hatch that was behind it. If he expands here, it's going to be, right next to Raza's main attack point.
I think it actually might be easier, because if he creeps down this ramp, it becomes it becomes much easier to hold. And I think that's why it would have been way better for him to take this way earlier. So Raza is going to grab this base behind it. I think Eva must know he has it. He knows that this base and this base are both untaken. Though Raza does just scan the ling and get rid of that one there. It's going to be the ultras. I think this is very late ultra cavern. I would have liked to see it quite a lot earlier from Eva. I guess he spent a lot of the gas on the Vipers, and I think he doesn't have any anymore. Okay, 2 remade. Yeah, just hatching out now. does remake that macro hatch, does retake his base and adds this one on.
Taking a hidden base at the bottom as well, which would be pretty nice because Raz's not really exploring that side of the map, so I don't think that's going to get found for quite a while unless he does a random scan down there.
Yeah, it's not really, like it's kind of hidden just because of how out of the way the corner bases on this map are. But this is actually like the most obvious next expansion for EPIC. But yeah, I think Raza doesn't realize that one's
It's more just that I don't think Raza can afford to go over there because it's so far from his production, it's so far from his reinforcements. If he goes down there, he's just going to get trapped in a corner.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. +3 finishing up for Raza. Let's see if he can get anything done. He needs to be really careful with these Vipers. Losing 2 already in this game. Nice little pickup. That's completely okay for Raza. Is on a bit of a timer now with these Vipers out and the first couple of Ultras are on the way. This is just irritating, basically, to have to split that one Medivac out the way.
Just noticed that Raz's upgrades are pretty good, actually, compared to Iba's.
Yeah, he's kept them going all game, whereas Eva's have been very stop-start, stop-start. I think he's up to, only 2 Carapace and 2 Melee on the way, so they're not going to be, like, maxed really strong Ultras. I'm missing a big run by into the third. That's a huge number of Banelings. Let's just right-click the Orbital and get that gone. Because meanwhile, Raza then, this is his trigger to go on the front because so much of Eva's army is across the map. Does push in a little bit. Eva actually giving up this base after losing just a few workers there. But this run by has cleared up everything. Even getting a factory is really nice. Now we'll go towards the top.
Cut Planetary Fortress is not even in the right place.
Well, yeah, I think he was going to put an orbital behind it, but he didn't have, because he couldn't get rid of this Ling yet. Like maybe even lift this one and move it over. But this has absolutely opened up the game for Eva. Obviously, there was a lot of kind of units sieged over here. I mean, there's still one hanging on that Eva can get for free. There we go. And borrowing that Ultra. And I'm borrowing the Ultra. Fantastic. Yeah, that's what he meant to borrow.
Do they still heal quicker underground?
No, absolutely not. But they do now borrow quicker as of the last patch, which obviously is a big change. That
that's the main reason to use it, right?
Yeah. We will see how this fight goes. Big Baneling landmine in the back line. Rolling through now, just so many Banes. I think there's a Bane per Marine at this point. There's Ultras in this army. No anabolic synthesis, but he doesn't need it. GG, well played, good luck. Next. Always the gentleman is our friend Raza, but 3-0 in this series. Yeah. That's going to be it for our round of 8 games.
Yeah, that is it. Another 3-0 in the round of 8. Kind of crazy. I think a lot of the games actually ended up going that kind of direction.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising to see. Like these were close matchups. These are like top tier UK SC2 players. Raza, as we said before, won many an epic LAN, been in the finals of many more. But the young gun Iba showing him up today and making a strong claim for his stake at another epic LAN title.
Yeah. So moving now into the semi-finals. I believe, like production, can we check how the kind of semi-final 4 matches are looking?
We will hopefully get an update on that in a sec.
I believe the other side is Figaro versus...
No, that's this side actually.
That's this side?
Yeah, so it'll be Figaro versus Iba this side.
Yeah, you're right.
On the other side, we're looking at either the winner of Zane Molten and the winner of Risky Jesu.
Yeah, so let's fill for a sec, see if we can get that.
I think, yeah, hopefully that's the one we're going to be seeing on stream next.
Yeah.
I don't know who won those games, so we'll need to get confirmation, but when we have that, we'll obviously let you know. But the players have been beavering away at their series. We do have confirmation now.
Yeah, so this entire quarterfinal round of 8 has gone 3-0 all down the bracket.
All the way down.
So that's Risky played Jesu in their games, Zane versus Molten, and it was obviously Risky, Zane 3-0ing those matches to go on to the kind of upper semi-final. The lows we just saw was Iba 3-0ing Raza, and Figaro 3-0ing Mix. Both of those were here on the stream. So that means that side of the semi-final will be Iba Figaro, and those games are not going to end up on this stream. We're instead going to take a short break and then come back with Risky versus Zane. Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be a long break at all. You'll see in the little timer in the corner. But again, thanks. Shout out to our sponsors, EPIC41 with Intel for providing the PCs that we're working on, and also Asus ROG for the fantastic monitors that we're using. We're going to throw to another quick break, and we'll be back with more Starcraft action in just a bit.
Never stop gaming.
Hello, overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him? Hello, overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
Never stop gaming.
Hello, and welcome back, beat you to it, to EPIC41 by Intel. We are back with more Starcraft action. I'm joined by the indomitable EXO. How's it going?
Indomitable, I like that. I'm going very good, thank you. Very excited to cast this upcoming match that we have here. It is going to be a heavy hitter. It is Zane versus Risky.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of a grudge match with these two. There's always been a little tension between them, a little friendly rivalry. So very interested to see how this will go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a really interesting one. We had this one last year, and it was close, but it did go Risky's way.
It did indeed.
This year, I'm not so convinced. This year, I can see it going Zane's way.
Zane is also very confident. Zane believes in himself. He thinks he can win this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I hope that is expressed in his gameplay, and get to see a few cheeky PvZ builds I can nick.
Hoping for some bangers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Zane is not the person I would steal builds from, because he plays quite weird. He does
play quite
like
weird,
his own kind of way. Just seeing if he's still back. Okay, he's back now.
We've got visual on him down there. We've got
target spotted.
We've got the sniper spot on him. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays a little bit weird. You know, he likes his stalkers. I think that's not unfair to say. He likes his oracles, and then I didn't really ever see him play like carriers. I never really see him get to that point.
I always remember him more of a big two-base timing kind of like. He's a Protoss that likes to hit a big timing, likes to kill the opponent, likes to control the game in a very almost Terran-like fashion sometimes. So it'd be really interesting to see. I like that style. I like adapting that style to PvZ. It can be very difficult because, like a lot of stalkers, very efficient until they're not. If they get caught out, very inefficient. Or inefficient is probably the word, inefficient. So yeah, I'm really interested to see this. It's down to control. And again, Risky, very good player. We know he's very good. But does he respect Zane enough to like really go all out? Or is he... Because... All right, here's a fun fact. Risky was 12 pooling everyone in like group stage who was like below 5. Even Terrans, he was doing it to everybody.
Yeah, I mean you can.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like a safe, consistent build that he could just do. And but will he do that to Zane? I don't think so. I think he's gonna. Play serious versus Zane.
We did see him play a pool first when he was playing against Mix, actually.
Oh, okay.
And that was Mix's Protoss, so he played a pool first there.
Wait, did he know it was Protoss though?
No.
Because it's random. Yeah. That's fair. So yeah, Zane's definitely. Risky's definitely got the skills to play it out however he wants. It's just about what he chooses to try and get an advantage in the game. And I think we'll sort of see a lot of those. So we've seen more Roach Hydra been coming into the meta recently, and I'm interested to see if that is something that he'll go for.
We're going to get into game number 1 on Alcyone. Wait, what do you say? Alcyone?
Alcyone is what I've been saying.
Alcyone? Oh,
yeah,
that's just what we need.
Alcy1 is also
AC1, yeah.
Alcy1,
it's a capital I, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Alcyone for the first one, yeah. It's going to be a ZDP, like you said. We should probably point out that Risky is renamed his account. So that's not going to be confusing at all. It's not going to be really annoying, and we're not going to keep saying the wrong name. But his account is now called Eba, so that's really...
No,
really
it's Eba. Quite literally. All right. And here we are, loading into the first map. Spawning in the top right as the purple Zerg player, it is Risky.
And in the bottom left, playing in the red, is Zane.
Let's go.
Teamless Zane, right?
Yeah, teamless Zane. He was... A few years ago, he was like kind of part of the dough, right?
Yeah, and then he was on RD for a week.
Yeah.
Famously.
He's worn the RD shorts like for a short period. Both him and Raz are like are kind of honorary RD members. We like to claim them, just they're basically Red Dragons, sort of thing. We do see that hatch block going for the hatch block first. Risky doesn't even care. He's going queuing straight for the third. So I think he expected that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Does drone up to 17, so I guess he's slightly late in pulling the work of it.
Yeah.
It's very minimal, doesn't actually affect much. And yeah, not a forge, but a gateway for Zane. Very normal.
Interesting stuff. So for a while, what was a really popular meta thing to do off of this is to do Glaive Adepts. That was like the first reason that Protoss has started hatch blocking. And then they realized, hey, it's kind of good to just do it anyway. So they start doing it every single match.
And if you play Glaive Adepts every time that you play hatch block, then like it becomes really obvious. And really
it becomes much more predictable, yeah. Like I say, Zane is a player who can mix it up. In fact, I haven't actually seen him go Glaive Adepts, so him going Glaive Adepts would almost be the mix-up.
Yeah, and that is what I was thinking as well, and why I think that Risky might not be too worried about the fact that he's getting hatch blocked. Yeah. He's like, well, Zane's going to play Stalker, so he can hatch block if he likes, but it's actually not going to affect
it doesn't
much.
make that big a difference. It's just an annoying longer drone time before they get mining.
Nexus before core, so Zane obviously not seeing anything out of the ordinary is not bothered.
Oh yeah, Nexus before, yeah.
If he was like worried about an early pull or something, he would play.
Yeah,
the
core
core
before
first,
Nexus. Yes.
Not in this case.
No, thankfully not. So all standard. And again, as I say, I feel every PvZ cast in the first match, the first real decision comes around 2:15 when the Cybercore is done, and Protoss decides a tech path. Will it be a Twilight Council? Will it be a Stargate? Will it be a Robo? Wildcard Robo. And we're about to see that go down.
Let's see. So
And
probably
Warp
not.
Gate.
It's looking like a TC.
So probably a Twilight Council, yeah.
Might be Robo first. Yep.
Oh, Robo first.
And then it'll be TC afterwards.
Very aggressive. Well,
Yeah, an interesting one.
yeah, I actually don't know why you'd get the Robo before the Twilight Council. Is there a? Do you know something? Is
Yeah,
it?
for faster Prism, and then you're just playing like
Oh, okay.
Blades or something. But it's like I said, it's not how Zane likes to play. He tends to play Oracle Stalker.
Yeah, that's which is much safer. Stargate is the standard considered opening, which is safe versus everything, and it allows you to get a faster third.
But
you don't
I think Zane's cooking for sure. And doesn't want to be too predictable, and his has to play best of 5, so could potentially get 5 games out. Does not want to let Risky in, but does let him in. Very unfortunate to get that scouted so early. So Risky kind of has some idea of what it is going to be he is playing against. Straight to a fast ops is interesting.
Yeah.
I guess he
I
can
wonder
use
if that
it to
was.
big overload.
I wonder if he was just building something to bait the fact that he was using it. But I mean, you are going to use it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it looks like the obs is on the way. No Templar Council. I wonder if this is like a weird parting build where it's going to be really fast Immortals.
I was going to say, is the Soul Train,
weird,
you know?
Yeah. He did. Risky should kind of already known what was going on because he did see the
Warp Gate,
start straight away, so he knows it already.
I think, but confirming that it's a Robo, not a Twilight Council. Every Zerg here would normally assume it was a Twilight Council.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, nice confirmation to see that it's not.
So it's going to be straight into Robo Facility. There's the Twilight Council coming out now. What's he going to do with the Prism?
Oh,
Might be Adept drops.
I had a meme like 5 years ago, which was a 4-Stalker Prism drop. And it was a similar sort of thing to this. And Zane laughed at me for it at the time.
Okay, but now he's doing it.
No. Well, he's probably doing it with Adepts.
Now I think he's doing Adepts. That's
yeah, okay, that's fair.
So I guess it's just 4 kind of unupgraded Adepts. Really nice catch for Risky. Good job for Zane. Oh, he's actually not getting quite in the choke, so does get that surrounded. This shouldn't go down, should it?
Nah, it's going to go down. It's such a sad sight to see. That's a really nice pickup for Risky. Good little momentum in his favour. And that's the sort of thing that you see about these high-level players. It feels like it's almost lucky, but it's like they create their own luck from being in the right position.
Yeah, really nice to get those links into the middle of the map. And in the middle of this map is Zelnaga, so he kind of gets really good forewarning. Way out here, he sees the Adepts coming. Now he sees the Prism coming across, and there's only the 1 Adept in it. I think otherwise he would have 3 Adepts in it, and 4 Adepts in it.
And Risky is calling out how not afraid he is, because he's building 8 drones. If this was a Glaive Adept timing and he was actually worried about it, he would not be building 8 drones here.
I don't remember whose build this is, but yeah, it's Charge Lot with a couple of Immortals. I want to say parting, but I feel like it isn't. But it's somebody. Actually, really aggressive there, taking out a Stalker for Risky. And this is kind of punishing because Raza didn't grab the Warp Prism, not Prism, sorry, battery behind it. Zane didn't get a battery. Sorry, I think I got everything wrong in that sentence, but everyone knows what I meant.
Yes.
Should have been a battery behind it. It's going to be 2 Immortals to start with, but obviously, mostly this build does a Charge Lot all in.
Yes, I was about to say, and the thing that Risky really wants to confirm here, that's hard to confirm, is the natural gases taken. That's what he wants to get in and see. Because if the gases aren't taken, this is an all-in, and it's probably a charge.
It's very weird, though, already, because there's no
third base. Yeah.
So Risky kind of already knows. I think he saw these units warping in, and if you're warping in Zealots and Sentries instead of Stalkers and Adepts, that already looks a bit weird. I think Risky must smell what this is, and he is going straight for the Roaches.
Yes, I think Roaches is the best decision here. There's like 1 or 2 odd builds. Like there's the Blinkless Stalker Disruptor all-in, where Roaches are not the answer what you need there, but there's also a Colossus that's a really strong all-in. But yeah, I think Risky has a good idea of what this is. 3 Immortals coming along. 3 Immortals do pack a punch. Only 2 Sentries. We're not going to have like a ton of force fields. And yeah, he's going to get...
Zane is clicking the wrong buttons here a little bit. Does look like they're kind of... I don't know. The pressure is getting to him a lot. Risky's creep spread is insane, by the way. Already up to the middle point of the map. But he's pulled back for now just to try and force Zane to fight up a choke into him. Queen's pulled to the front, nice and ready. I think this one's looking okay for Risky. I mean, Risky smelled what it was. I think he's ready.
I think if Zane sees the whole map here, he doesn't want to commit to this. In fact, the fact he's like clearing creep maybe, he's like not rushing in. Now Risky commits to a fight. The force field not quite good enough. Biles, I can't speak.
Yeah, not the best force was to start. Bios hitting the Immortals, but Immortals do eventually get on top of the Roaches and Queens. Zane is going to keep needing to warp in here, and Risky is not able to get on top of the reinforcements.
Yeah, but finally this Protoss army is packing the big punch it needs. The drones are pulled off the line. Risky sensing the threat here. 2 more force fields, actually very nicely placed, keeps the Immortals alive and firing. And we are getting into an actual kind of scary situation, as maybe we all underestimated just how strong this push was.
Yeah, I think Immortals are much stronger than we
Yeah,
thought,
4 Immortals making absolute work of this army. All of them have been firing, and all of them have been basically untouched.
Zane is actually doing really okay because he's trading Zealots the whole time. All the time that the Roaches are running away and hitting the Zealots, they're not on top of the Immortals in the back line, racking up the kills. 18 on this one.
Damn.
Prism forced to unsiege, but that's kind of okay. As
yeah, but there's only one Raptor.
Now.
The juggle is good. However, he is running out of steam here. You can't get all 4
he needs
out.
to pick up these. Doesn't he? I would have thought
Maybe
he needed
not.
These.
Wow.
Vile on that last one, but he gets one more Zealot warp in. This trade is not looking great for Zane, and the Zealots will come through.
Incredible decision making by both players. Though. That was a really high level mind game to go for the War Prism.
I think Zane could have gotten a little bit more mileage out of that. He's in a bit of trouble now as he has hard walled, and he is doesn't have a third on the way. Risky, obviously lost some workers here, and the worker count is close. He's back to joining now, of course, but he now has a huge, well, not huge, but a big enough army that Zane does need to do something about.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to save these Zealots. That's not going to happen, or at least trade as best he can. But yeah, I mean, Risky doesn't even need to break down the wall here. He's going to, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he can kind of use the Sim City against Zane in this case.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Yeah, Zane's a bit stuck now. He was obviously all in, and the all in didn't really work.
I think if I was Risky here, I'd like to check like the corners of the map for another base, maybe, because then you can just chill. If there's no ninja base on the map, you don't even need to attack.
Yeah, it's always worth double checking for, but I'm not.
But I think he knows he's super far ahead. Yeah. Because that was quite a committed 2 base.
Yeah, he is starting to drone out. A few more routes on the way, actually. 10 more on the way.
Yeah, I don't mind this.
I don't know. I feel like if Zane just spams batteries, he might be unbreakable on 2 bases.
Yeah, but eventually he has to expand, and then the batteries aren't where he's expanding to. So
true. But I don't know. I'd like some more tech out of Risky, just to, I don't know, a Hydroden or a Spire or something, just to start like.
Yeah, I think a Spire would be really strong here. There's Blink is like in a dream world away, so it's like you're
exactly right.
And no Stargate, so yeah, Spire makes like an obvious checkmate.
So Zane isn't going for the expand. He's going to run the same
round 2.
He's running it back. Yeah, he doesn't have a prism with this, which is really risky, honestly, and not. I don't know. It's brave to be out on the map like this.
Yeah, it is.
Prism only just come across now. He does have an
Animal,
another Immortal on the way. So
sorry, an Archon.
yeah, this is why he kind of needs the Prism. He doesn't really want to start fighting just yet. Does need to get that Archon to the front, start getting the damage done. Big Biles, decent dodge, but it does force the Immortals to disengage, which means Risky continues to trade Zealots for Roaches, and yeah, so far the trades have been going in his favour.
Yeah, it's still pretty close.
Units. Luckily that Immortal had the shield up, so he...
Okay, well the threat is here coming again, and again it's going to be round 2 of the same thing. Risky in a much better position this time to hold it, and further out on the map, so he's got more place to run back to. In fact, yeah, I don't even know if Zane's army can engage here, but he's got to find the engagement and really commit to win this fight. But I don't see it happening.
So much damage on that Archon already, and Risky's, I don't know, smelling blood in the water and going for it. Just needs to be a little bit careful. He's getting...
Gonna go for the Zealot sandwich.
Yeah, but I think there's so much here for Zane, maybe? Is Zane doing it?
Nah, not quite. It looked really good there. If it was just a few more Zealots in the front, these Zealots in the back warping did really good, but
yeah, I think
just not quite enough. And again, Risky is so comfortable. He's got so much space to get to his base. The Queen's now coming in from the back to help out. And that is going to be GG. Game number 1. Going to Risky.
An interesting one, yeah.
Not an entirely surprising result. However, Zane was confident for a 3-0. I'm not going to lie. I think he was secretly hoping for that. So we will see how he adjusts. I think a lot of things went wrong for him in the early game there. Or Risky played very well so that to not make things go well. The initial War Prism harass didn't do anything. He got Adepts caught on the map. Risky was like nice and aggressive with the Lings in the wall to just make sure that Zane couldn't do anything for free. And then when the actual big push did come, it did very well, but just not quite enough. I really respect Zane for making that as dangerous as it was from the situation that he was in.
Yeah, I think he hasn't given too much away there. He's kind of shown a kind of a weird charge lot all-in build. I don't think it's the way he typically plays, and that I think is kind of why is why he... Oh, okay, so just to keep him in the loop, I'm staring down here. Game crashed for both Risky and Zane after that one finished.
Interesting.
So the kind of it disconnected them both from the party, so we're having a little bit of delay making the next lobby.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what each player goes for. Now, again, generally in PvZ, the Protoss is the one that gets to dictate the kind of pace of the game. They're the ones that get to make the tech decision of how the game goes, unless we see a really early pull from Risky, which isn't super his style. Like I say, he's capable of it, and he likes to do it versus lower-rated players, but I think he likes to play the more reactive style versus the thing. So we will see how that gets to go, and hopefully we'll be getting into Game 2 fairly shortly.
Yeah, while we do, I think it's a good time to kind of mention some of the sponsors we have of EPIC41.
Yes.
This is EPIC41 by Intel, of course, and we're so glad to be back in Kettering, and it's been a really great event.
Yeah.
Been loving it, as are the people you can maybe hear behind us.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning Draytech, who are our partners for the networking and the kind of tech support and that sort of thing, and have provided, I think, a lot of the tech that you will see later on the stage and that sort of thing.
Yes.
It's really exciting to see. As well as Asus, who have given these really fancy monitors that I'm actually very jealous of.
Yeah, they're really nice, really nice.
And Overclockers as well have been a long-time partner of.
There was a really cool thing where you could order in any overclocker parts you wanted, and they would be here for the day for when you arrived, and that was such a cool feature. And they've got a bunch of special offers there. If you're into your keyboards, they've got a bunch of special offers down there now with good discounts.
Yeah, I'm always checking overclockers.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. Yes, love to see that. And it does look like we are now ready to go into our second game. It is going to be on Oceanborn.
Yep. Oceanborn, for the second game of this series. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure. There's some kind of weirdness in this game that we kind of saw earlier, both yesterday and today.
Oh, yeah.
Where in the ZVT matchup. And that tends not to kind of come into play so much with ZVP.
Yeah.
We'll see if Zane clearly has some builds prepared, has some thoughts about the matchup. So we'll see how he kind of adapts as the series goes on.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the more standard maps. There's a few different maps in this pool. Like Red Huset Station is the main weird map. Oceanborn is definitely one of those sort of quite standard ones. You fight quite through the middle. You can expand on either side. Like I said, I've been a big fan of Golden Aura. I'm hoping we get to see that one because that.
Okay, we absolutely will not get Golden Aura.
Is that been VO'd?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair.
Yeah,
I find that produces very interesting games. And it's not that off-standard that we get to see things. Oh, but we do have a very fast probe scout here. Though, again, this could just be for denying. My mind went for a forge there.
We'll see, but I doubt it. Zane,
I don't
think is particularly versatile. There's the gateway. No Golden Aura. I wouldn't say who, but one of our players thinks it's way too good for Protoss. So,
interesting.
We won't be playing that one, I'm
Fair
afraid,
enough.
for this series. But once again, hatch blocked, so straight onto the third. Zane doing his due diligence and checking that it actually is there. Yeah, obviously you can run the drone this way and then just keep it running and build a hatch over here or something.
I was going to say, I think, was it Rogue in a GSL that did that, where he cancelled a base, the person didn't check it, and then he proxy hatched it.
Absolutely
very specialist build.
One of the best games of all time.
Yeah, that's a fantastic
Rogue
one.
versus Creator, yeah.
I was Creator, that was it, I can remember, yeah.
So, pretty standard ones again so far. Nothing kind of majorly weird. Like you said, it mostly comes after the Cybercore finishes up and we get that first look at the tech.
That 2-minute mark. Again, unless Zerg wants to do anything weird.
I would put money that it's a Stargate, this game.
You think it's Stargate?
I'm nearly certain.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I kind of want Zane to just do it again. Because it's that sort of thing
keep
where
running it until it works.
A little bit. Like, there are some players, I think Risky is very good for this, so I don't think it's good versus Risky, but there are some players that they think you're going to try and mind game them. So if they see the same setup again, they'll go, nah, it's something else, and they will then make a bad decision just off of nothing.
Like, oh, there's no way he does the same thing more than once.
Yeah, exactly. There have been certain players that have that happen to them.
So Risky's going to hang around and wait and see. Yeah, and it is going to be warp gate straight across, so he's going to see that and then move this pillar, move the overlord to the pillar over here. He actually can hang around a little bit longer because obviously it's a adept, but he doesn't know that.
It's very rare that it's a Stalker Fest, and even if it is a Stalker Fest, you can't really kill the overlord before it gets there.
I think with the position he's got it in now,
Oh, but yes, we do see the cancel on the warp gate to get the Stargate. So yeah,
Risky's so good though. He's just keeping this here, so he's still in vision. Let's double check. Yeah, he still sees it.
Yeah.
If he comes back and checks in that time, he'll see obviously that it had been cancelled. It's back up again now, so there's possibility that he
he didn't look.
he didn't look in that period, but we will see. I think it's going to mostly come down to like his queen positioning and his like spore timing.
Yeah, I think Risky is probably pretty switched on for this series, so that would be something he would be looking at. I don't know what else the Zerg is looking at that sort of time, so it's like, I don't, you know, it's funny when I play from the Protoss perspective, so I never know when the Zerg is going to have the time to look at their Overlord. So.
Yeah, and in this case, you should be looking for the Adept and like getting that set up.
Yeah, just connecting the bases, getting the speed. 2 on gas
Back
still.
into gas.
Yeah.
And 10 lings on the way. Interesting.
It's
Yeah, I mean, it
not
could
gonna be
be
Bane
looking for a ling flood towards the third. It shouldn't really be Bane lings.
Oh,
But
yeah,
2
yeah.
gas isn't enough for like.
It's an
much
odd
more.
amount, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So then TC coming through, this will be forward blink. I'm nearly certain.
Okay, interesting. So Zane not immediately starting the second Oracle because he's got a Twilight Council. So there's a few builds here where you go into like 4-gate glaive, or not even 4-gate non-glaive off of the 1 Oracle, but it does make taking your third significantly harder.
Yeah, and we're seeing that now. The Oracle got halfway across the map and is now having to fly.
Yeah, it
home.
has to come home. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, bad.
Oh.
Bad luck on that. Adept as well, getting caught by those lings. I mean, luckily he didn't get the Nexus cancelled, but losing the pylon is not at all what he wants. And Zane in response is actually going to start glaives and start 2 more gates.
so
and I don't know if he planned this and that was a fake third, or if he was like, okay, I'm not getting that.
I think so. I think that this was part of the plan because getting the Twilight Council after instead of the second Oracle is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't do that unless you've got a plan for it. But again, Risky really on point with the scouting. He's going to see it.
Sends the Overlord straight towards the main and sees the lack of any Oracle or anything out of the Stargate.
Yeah.
And sees this researching. And to him, I think that looks really obviously like glaives. I think some people might go and be like, oh, it's still Blink. Zane loves Blink. He's always making Blink.
That's
but in this case, it's not.
And then there's me, who does charge.
And then it's charge. Interesting that Risky pokes back in. Yeah, it forces I think Zane to turn the Oracle on and defend that third.
Yeah, yeah. It's also good to see the third go down. Means that because if he'd invested into 3-4 other gates and this was like a super committed all in, you don't have the money to then put the Nexus down. So that it's a soft confirm that this is just a 4-gate pressure and it won't be a super committed all in.
Yeah. 5 gases out of Risky is an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
Quite often you just play from 3 gas.
I would say it's quite early to be on 5 gas for him. Oh no, the Oracle just slightly out of position. Doesn't die,
So
but
one
does.
hit left. Crazy.
Yeah, get into an awkward position. Does get the forward scout where the queens are. So the Adepts are going to shade forward and stop.
Stand under an Overlord. These needs to keep moving because the upgrade literally just finished, so quite important that he starts to get damage
value
with that before too many roaches get out. He really could have gone for that, I think.
Yeah, I think he just saw the edge of a unit or two and you don't know how deep it is. The Adept Vision shade is not what it once used to be. So you have to do that. I think shading onto the ramp here, No, he's not going to commit to it. Fair enough.
Too many roaches are out now. I think he's very...
he's lost his timing, maybe.
Yeah, I think he just needs to poke around. And it's weird because he's going straight to Blink. He's definitely cooking in this series.
He is cooking.
I've never seen anything like this. So it's going to be a few Glaive Adepts, and then I think he won't dive with them.
Oh, I thought he was going to let it finish then.
And then into Blink +1 and
Immortals.
Immortals. He does have a third behind this. Risky has his fourth, like most of the way down.
Yeah, I kind of like it, but I don't know what he's going to do off of it. Like, you can't really poke out at this stage of the game. You can't really poke out with Immortals and Stalkers without splash or something.
Yeah.
You need some spice there, because this is really not. It's not that good a fighting army versus like a heavy supply of roaches.
Oh, he needed to run these away and actually get caught out by the roaches. No speed on the roaches, so the Adepts are still plenty fast enough to get away.
Okay, what I was saying earlier though, maybe it's not as bad as we thought. Okay. Oh, he commits to a shade. Let's see what he can get done
here.
here.
Of a duke there. And he will get on top of the drones. I think not too many will go down just because the pull away was quite quick. 10 is not bad though.
Yeah.
It's going to split towards the main, so he does get in here. Okay, and then Rue calls out. I mean, 12 is
really
fine.
nice move. Yeah, making something happen with what he's got.
13, 14, 15?
Oh yeah, the one of
no,
those.
just 13.
Okay,
sorry.
nice.
I mean, Zane back in a huge amount of money behind that. Definitely needs to spend his bank down. And isn't because he's supply block. That's really unfortunate because without that he would be in a really commanding spot in this game. But as it is, he's just got a slight work lead from that, but does now need to be really careful that he doesn't die to the roach all-in that's coming.
And the work lead is actually something I find quite interesting because just before that, Risky obviously had a bit of a work lead. But it wasn't as dramatic as it would normally be. Risky was really respecting the fact that something was going to be happening and he had to play out. So he wasn't up to 80 drones. We're still at 80 minutes and he's not. He hasn't touched 70 drones yet. So even though this has been not a super successful game, just the threat and presence of everything has meant that the game has slowed down. So this isn't like an 8-minute of a passive PvZ where Zerga can be on 80-odd workers and be getting up to their hive, you know. This is now, the infestation bit is actually now finishing. But the game has been a lot slower in pace. Though Hive is started immediately, so yeah, Risky knows what he wants to play.
Yeah, the Oracles also dived into the Natural as he realized there was no Spore there and got another few more worker kills. Really nice play out of Zane. He's getting towards High Templar, I guess for Storm.
Yeah. So
and then, you know, as opposed to just like spamming loads of Archons and trying to go for the kill or anything.
Generally,
charge as well.
Generally with this kind of thing, the old meta was you try to hit a Storm pre-Hive timing. And that is essentially the same idea. Before any main Hive units get out is probably what he's going for here. But again, Risky was really on top of it. Whilst re-droning, he started an infestation pit, and as soon as that infestation pit was done, he's started a Hive, which is now 3/4 of the way done. So I think, yeah, he could actually have a decent amount of units before, he could actually have some Hive tech before Storm is done.
This looks really good for Zane. He's getting really nice little picks everywhere, managing to snipe the drone that went to build this expansion with these Oracles. I mean, this only has 2, but that one has 13 kills. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Getting his 4th established, I would like to see maybe a wall here, or at least a little bit more defense than this, you know, cannons and batteries, what have you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're really getting to the stage where, well, we know that Zane can't really attack. So he actually needs to almost tech up into Stargates, but yeah, there's the fleet beacon going down as well. I just saw the shade on the thing. Double Robo, though, extra is an interesting one.
Yeah, really interesting. And it's going to be lurkers behind this for Risky. I don't know how many of these Hydras Zane has seen, and if he thinks it's just like Roach Hydra like we've seen in a couple of the other games today. But it's going to be a big lurker switch. I think the double Robo is to try and stabilize on a lot of Immortals.
Yeah, no, actually, and a really good call as well, because I think he's going to need that. Zane is like going to have to play defensively for a little while until you get this sorted out.
That, but he's out on the map and he just did a really like aggro forward play.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Decent Storm goes down on a few of these units, but they move out of it nice and quick. I think he's mostly only here to clear creep. It feels really
there's no like kill potential here.
Yeah.
Oh, Zealot Rumboy going into the 4th base there at the bottom, but Roach is in time to defend it.
Risky's already so ready for it.
He is. I think like that's the very common tactic to do, right? You sort of poke out, kill some creep, run some Zealots in. It's a good tactic, don't get me wrong, but Risky, he's seen that trick a few times before.
Risky's just realizing he doesn't have Roach speed.
Oh, wow.
So he'll have Seismic Spines before Roach speed.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one. Nidusworm also going up. He's going to be able to do some tricky plays. There is an Overseer at the back of the thing.
Already in position.
But Cannon,
Zane might know now that the attacker's gone. He does see all of these lurkers and what have you, so I think he's quite happy just to keep pumping Immortals, but doesn't really want to go too much more than that. These Zealots getting caught out. Can he poke around? Oh, the High Templar getting caught in the middle of the map is awful.
They were follling a unit, and then the unit died or something. That's generally what happens when that goes wrong like that.
I don't know if Zane even realizes because he's still kind of pushing out a little bit too far. I think Risky maybe can't really push up this ramp with
this ramp shouldn't be is safe for now, but again, just killing those four High Templar high energy ones.
Yeah, and these Roaches are not even like relevant. He's trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, and
meanwhile we're diving onto the Immortals on the side. These have some storms, but not a huge amount.
It takes like 4 full storms to kill 1 lurker.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to have the time to get all the storms off. Though Risky respecting it, actually going to pull back very quickly. Doesn't know about this 4th base. While the Roaches are going to the main, they're going to be able to get a Nidusworm going down, and they're giving Zane more problems to have to deal with. Zealot Rumboy does try to get something done at the bottom, but not quite enough. Good warp-ins, but it will be quick enough. It's not a quick warp-in. No.
It's a slow warp-in.
Oh my God. Buff Protoss, please.
I don't think there's anything even in the Nidusworm, and Zane is still pushing the front. High Templar leading the charge is so bad. Can he get some storms down at least?
He does get some storms off, but the Lurker flying into the screen there. He wanted to be the star of the show, but he is not the star of the show because the Hydras are now pushing through, trying to break the backbone of Immortals, but Immortals are pretty good.
Well, yeah, Hydra's still fighting this, so Zane does have to run now. He is getting 3 carries at a time out behind this. He's banking so much money. If he just dumped this into anything at this point,
I think
would be so much better.
I think you need bases and static defense here, right?
If
Like
he could get another base up, he'd be so much stronger in this game.
Dump it in static
I think
defense.
he's okay. I was going to say I think he's out of Storm. He is out of Storm, but he has some High Templar still alive.
For Mothership, just finished up as well. Is he going to be able to use that cloaking field in order to help out here? Maybe.
Obviously, it's still over here.
Yeah, the
Risky
time
just diving with pure Hydra because he knows there's no Storm.
and the time bomb, but the time bomb takes a little while to get going.
Yeah, he's going to force these Hydras back. And a big Zealot flank, I don't think the Zealots actually really want to be there.
This is a tough one. Like, again, Risky looking in good control of this, but not able to break Zane yet. And Zane is now getting to that scary late game army, the one that Zergs really don't want to have to deal with when there's a lot of carriers out.
And Risky is honestly not really prepared for it. I don't think he has a Spire.
No Spire, no Ultraless Cabin
So,
either.
Yeah, and those are kind of the two techs that you really do want for this. Yeah, and he's now starting to spend his bank down and get some that defense. Nidus very brazen right now with everything, but obviously Zane sees it. Now he will reveal the carriers though, so Risky obviously will get a Spire, I imagine, pretty soon after this.
I was about to say, yeah, in a super calm situation, that one Immortal probably had enough time to kill it, but you want to make sure that doesn't go up.
Yeah, Risky pushing on two fronts, cancelling the Nexus on this side, but a huge number of Hydras and Lurkers are on the other side. This is starting to look like the beginning of the end for Zane, unfortunately.
Oh, if he could only smoke that Overseer, that would actually help so much, but it's not going to be able to.
I mean, you really don't want Hydras against carriers, but there's just so many Hydras here for Risky. He's just pulling the trigger and going for the win. I think with this number of carriers versus this number of Hydras, he actually will hold for some time. It's like how much damage Zane takes in the meantime, especially with another big run by coming on the other side.
Yeah, these High Templar need to be really careful. They can't run forward into the Lurkers. There's no detection down here either, so the Lurkers are going to be able to chew away, even if Risky decides to trade everything out, which he might just be able to afford to do. This is starting to get really messy though, but I don't know if Zane can stabilize.
I mean, it's looking stabilized, but stabilized at like what level? You know, he's down so many workers. He has no more base on the way. I mean, a lot of these Lurkers are going to get out of here for Risky still. So, you know, both players taking a pretty messy trade, but honestly, I think Risky coming out on top.
The moral victory, 10 hit point Nexus, staying alive there.
25 workers going down through all of that.
But, I mean, unit supplies are even, and... Oh, okay, now it's not even. Okay, 9 Corruptors fire up. I was going to say the quality of the Protoss army is actually pretty good. However, I mean, Corruptors deal with that quite well.
Risky just giving this base, buying time for his Corruptors to come out. I don't know how many he needs for... How many is this total? 6? 6?
9 doesn't feel like enough, but 9 feels like it could trade, but I don't know if you actually want to trade enough here. You actually probably want to back off.
I think Zane's going to grab this base and then
neither player wants to actually fight with their main armies at the moment.
Yeah,
how many High Templars are there?
Yeah, not too many.
5. 3 of them are here.
Storm on
one or two of these? Yeah, they're all kind of low energy.
Okay, they're all at the same time, but yeah, 1 Storm, so 3 total on 5 High Templar is not really what you want. Zane's just been losing them so much.
Yeah, what's the upgrade on the carriers? Do we know?
Oh yeah, he's got at least +1.
Yeah, he's got +1, okay.
A random Lurker, not even from a...
not a Nidus.
It's really a distraction as Risky pushes over onto the newly...
such a good
No, it's not even a retaken base, it's just this base on 10 HP. Just need to be careful now with these Corruptors because the Storms are going to be...
There's 1 Arc on there as well, and that does actually complicate things a surprising amount.
It's exactly what Zane is looking for. Big pull from... big pull from the Viper to pick off one of those carriers. And then the Archon going down to Lurker. So I think Risky has gotten himself to a pretty solid spot at this point. He's going to take 2 volleys to kill that carrier, but these Corruptors are just so healthy. 8 more on the way. It's realised that this is really all Zane has. You know, 3 Zealots and a Stalker otherwise. So it's this carrier army or nothing for Zane.
And the mining bases for Zane is a desperate situation, right? He can't really attack in, but if he just sits back, then Risky is going to get 1 big army and be able to, just jump on top of it here. Yeah, this might be the final fight here.
Yeah, big storm, but as soon as the Corruptors dive, it's not like Zane can storm his own carriers, and that's going to be it for game number 2.
Very cute Stasis Ward at the end there, trying desperately to make something happen, but not quite able to.
Not quite this time.
Yeah. Well, Zane put up a really good fight there. Again, very similar to sort of game 1. It felt like Risky was very in control, scouted very well, knew what was going on, sort of played out very calmly. But, Zane absolutely held on very tooth and nail. Did get a good quality army up, but again, that multi-pronged harass from Risky, just about doing it. Like that 1 Lurker here, the Roaches finding the High Templar, then jumping into the main. Really big moves. And again, it's about creating that own luck. Like Risky, it almost feels lucky, but yeah, he's creating his own luck with it. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. It's
Yeah, it looks like we are going to be going into Game 3. That is going to be on Site Delta. Just checking in on the players, making sure they're both all right and ready to go, because we don't want to rush them too much. Again, this is a big series, and it might be that one player is taking a moment here. Got to breathe it out. You know, remember your prep.
Yeah,
don't
he's just
too excited.
Checking the replay. Zane is after that one.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And yeah, you got to be careful on that sort of thing. You want to find out. Maybe you had some expectations of weaknesses you expected your opponent to do that they didn't do, or maybe you need to double check something. Or maybe you're desperately out of ideas, but you want your opponent to think that you're doing that. So you're like, hang on, I need a minute. And then they think that you're thinking about something, but you're not thinking about anything.
Yeah, we've seen a few different builds out of Zay now, and I think this is him checking the replay and seeing how Risky played that one and trying to pick the next build that is going to hopefully grab him the reverse sweep to keep his upper bracket hopes alive.
Yes, yes. Again, it's like I say, it's really tough versus these very strong reactionary Zergs, right? You notice that Risky is not trying to force anything. He is just letting it happen. He's scouting properly and he's reacting, and that's the super high level Zerg strategy, right? You know all the answers. You're familiar with all the situations, and you just scout properly. Very, very interesting to see. Again, we are just waiting and sorting some things out here. But, yeah, I think predictions here, I want to see Zane take a map. I think this is he's wanted all the maps, but now he's going to knuckle down, get a map off, and we're going to see if we can turn this into a real big series. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But we are just waiting on the map to be sorted out here.
Yeah, just setting the lobby up. We're having some weird kind of bugs. So.
Yeah, and again, just want a big shout out to EPIC41. This is the 41st EPIC41, but yeah, if you haven't heard of it and you're in the UK, there's a lot more than Starcraft here. They do Counter-Strike as well. That's the main sort of thing that ends up going on here. But again, we're always happy to have more new Starcraft players come and join. In fact, a lot of players in the community kind of started from hearing about LAN and coming to join. And yeah, we're a quite tight-knit little community. So.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
Yeah,
it's nice. Yeah, feel free to come down. There's spectator ticket options.
Yes.
For
the Saturday is a great day to come down, which is today, because you get a lot of the higher bracket games and then even the stage finals, which will be happening at 9 p.m. tonight, hopefully.
After a little bit of a break, we are now loading into Site Delta. Thanks for bearing with us, guys.
Yeah, it's all good.
But we are good to go. As we're now going to hop over into the game for this number 3 of this best of 5.
Yeah, let's see if this is going to be the one that decides the series or not, or if we will be able to, take this to a 4th and a 5th map. So, potentially for the last time, fighting for, well, not his tournament life, but his upper bracket life, spawning as the green Protoss, it is Zane.
The man who almost needs no introduction, playing in the purple, is Risky.
Correct. He almost needs no introduction, apart from that he renamed his account.
Yeah.
To make it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you only get one a season, so we have to now wait until the season resets so we can.
Yeah. When does season reset? It only changed recently, didn't it?
It's a few weeks away, definitely.
All right.
So same opener as before.
Yeah. Nothing cheeky. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it at this point. You wouldn't recommend going forward against trying to cheese somebody who is there.
No, I don't see any. Cannon Rush is deceptively hard, and a lot of people think it's very easy, and it is not. To that end, I think a lot of people think that it's like a good way to scam free wins, and it's not. You need to be have good probe control, have good micro. It's annoying, but it's true that it's not as easy as it looks. Basically,
yeah.
I think if you haven't practiced it and you're not really keen and really ready, it's not good to try and eyeball it. Basically.
Yeah, I think the strength of it comes from when you as the cannon rusher are prepared and your opponent is not prepared, then it looks broken. That's where it really looks broken. Because the response is also very specific, but yeah, the correct action of doing it is also very specific. And it's interesting that you see like the high level players who, they do it every single game. Like PrintF was the famous one for a while.
Yeah,
I haven't heard much of him recently.
There's a lot of pro players that will cannon rush, and a lot that don't. So SOS sometimes did it, but Parting famously did a few cannon rushes. Hero played a two-gate forge a little while ago, and it just looked terrible.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I think you need to practice it. You need to be actually good at it and prepare it, as opposed to just a thing you can sometimes do. It needs to be a core thing that you're actually drilling, actually get good at.
It's one of those odd things, and it's an underrated skill. Being able to cheese properly is actually an oddly underrated skill. People do like take the mick out of players who mostly cheese, but there is a real art to it, and you have to know what you're doing. Like, actually, yeah, obviously you know Larimbo, and like I say, a bit of a cheesy, odd player, but you know he's a really good player. And if you speak to him, he'll explain everything that he does and like the reasons behind it, and like it's a very tuned through process.
It's interesting. I wonder if Zane is going to go back to how he would kind of be playing normally. Like I kind of said,
okay, yeah.
It's not how he's mostly been playing. Is not how I like the things that I would typically associate with Zane. And last time he played against Risky, he played, you know, the way he would normally play, and it didn't look bad at all. He's now going once again for like the cancelled warp gate into the Stargate just to kind of throw Risky off a little bit, though it's not going to work, and Risky's going to sneak these lings in anyway. And I wonder if he's just going to go for that blink and just play a more standard game than, a more standard game than we've seen so far in the series.
Yeah, kind of hopefully so, right? Because it feels like all the tricks are getting scouted, which makes it very awkward. He's going to harass this probe very quickly here. Might even get one if he's not careful. Ugh, it's a
bit of a messy response from Zane, that's for sure.
And this is really frustrating as well, because it's like that. You don't want to have to deal with this random ling in your main.
Yeah, and it actually distracted Zane. He lost a depth on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he did.
This one, I'm hoping
he's
he's
actually
up,
in
so should
trouble.
When the Oracle comes, it should be okay. No, okay, this one's definitely going down. Risky making a little flood of lings. It's not a huge number.
Yeah,
8 so far, plus 10 lost. So like 18 lings made. It's not a small it's a fairly costly investment, but does try and keep Zane honest just a little bit. Forces the Oracle to turn on, so it's now out of energy. Zane going to try and grab the base.
I would say this is really risky as well, because if Risky had decided to just
snipe the hatch.
in fact, he doesn't even need more lings.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I think Zane just needed to wait until his second Oracle came out. Like it's out now, so it's not going to delay his Nexus that much. Risky actually smartly checking the other third.
That's really
Zane
smart.
goes for straight away.
Yeah, Pulsar Beam activated, and the lings run without even losing one. Again, these little, and it's like catching the Adept early, right? These are little mental victories that like just feel good. You know you're like stopping any threats of pressure going out.
Yeah, and I think more pressure is now on the cards, because both of these Oracles are pretty low energy, and Risky has made just a few more lings to try and poke around, be a little bit more annoying. There's no battery still at this third base, so he is going to get on top of it once again and force these Oracles to switch on.
Yeah.
I think he just goes for the Stalker and then runs away. I don't think he'd go and really threaten the Nexus. There's the battery, but Zane is always like adding the battery after kind of losing units. It's like you need to do that before so that you don't lose them, but what can we do? Oracle's really low on energy, so I'd be surprised if Risky kind of gave up on his lings. I think he's going to keep using these and really trying to milk.
Yeah, but he is squeezing drones out between this and getting his lair, so he's got other stuff going on. This is, again, very non-committal. Though, again, the work is actually quite even. 48 to 49. So interesting to see how
another Stalker for free. Both these Oracles just barely out of energy. So
yeah,
you know, it's really nice little trades here for Risky. We'd have a couple of depths sneaking around the map, so they could get a bit of damage done.
I like the idea, but yeah, again, the Overlord spread is in such a good position. Yeah, Zane sees that and like immediately scurries away to the shadows.
Yeah, Oracles across the map obviously are not going to get anything done. It is going to be his more like typical Blink style. Yep. So I think it should be 3 Oracles, just the 2 in this case. And then into quick Blink, adding some more gateways on for his kind of Stalker play. We'll see kind of what he can get done with that.
Yeah, Blink isn't done yet, so these Stalkers out on the map is a little bit scary. The Oracles obviously provide a great way to be able to burst down the Lings, but you've still got to be really careful. Okay, the Lings were circling around the top, but they have came back round. They could have snuck around behind.
So many Lings, and Zane really needs to run away back to battery safety.
Yeah.
Blink's still not done, but obviously Risky doesn't quite know that and can't take a fight until he, kind of knows what's going on.
Yeah, that was a scary moment there.
He's actually going Roach Hydra once again, which I think is completely fine, especially against this like kind of comp.
Yeah, I think versus the Stalker heavy combat thing. Like, so the Stalker heavy combat is really good because it can force trades a lot. You can go out on the map, you can pressure, you can like take trades, and you never lose Stalkers is the idea. But Roach Hydra, as being such a beefy comp, kind of gets into your face a lot more than kind of like Link Roach or
and
Roach
you're also
Hydra.
not vulnerable to the Oracles because you have the Hydras to shoot them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it eliminates that problem.
Risky's creep spread is really awesome. Already right to the center point of the map, almost touching Zane's third base. These Lings carrying on being annoying, grabbing a pylon there, and they're mostly just like, I don't know, circling. and keeping Zane really honest. He's not been able to get out on the map with the Stalkers at all.
What I will say is that Zane is taking a very good like macro posture here, right? He's also up to like nearly 70 workers. He's able to like defend all his bases from the harassment. He's like doing fine for a macro sense. The problem is that you allow the Zerg to be unabated in that case, and that can be a big problem.
And he also has just no tech, so there's no storm.
It's on the way, but yeah.
There's, I think, a robo. Yeah, a robo, but no robo units out so far.
Yeah.
And no, like, we're no closer to Colossus or Disruptors or anything
Your
like that.
super late game army that you really want to see, yeah.
Risky being annoying with these lings. I don't think they'll even get through this, and the Oracle shooting away.
Oh man, that cancel the last second was actually such well timed. I thought it died. But yeah, no, Risky shift those back. He didn't actually want to commit in there. But having the lings alive is really good for a player like Risky, who's so active and is able to move around constantly with them. It means he can check for hidden bases going up or other extra external bases, or just poke in
here
like
on
this.
the south, and then push in the north as soon as his +1 finishes. He's basically looking at a maxed out Roach Hydra army.
Exactly. He sees that all of the Stalkers were down there and for the High Templar. We do have one cannon here, but it's not going to be holding out. Nice storm, but mostly on Roaches, and Roaches are pretty tanky for it.
Yeah, I think this overcharge is very annoying on the cannon, but it does look like Risky is going to burst this down, so it's going to force Zane to kind of rotate up here. Bring more High Templar for more storm. This one is out, and this one is going to die.
Oh,
lag.
the lag there. Yeah, both players felt the lag, as did we as the casters. Yeah, that High Templar probably wandered forward. We're gonna see what the players think here. Definitely an unfortunate one. Let's say, he probably would have controlled that that High Templar a little bit better. How high? Yeah, we're just checking the ping here. As it can't be helped. Very unfortunate thing that the Starcraft 2 doesn't actually have a dedicated LAN mode. That is one of the biggest that was like the original controversy with Starcraft 2. Yeah. Oh, we are just checking some ping here, but we might take it off the screen so you guys don't have to see how bad this is.
I would stick with it, as it does seem to have calmed down now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The Battle.net servers are.
I mean, it looks okay.
One to 20 all fine. Okay. Okay. 21 to 100 next. Do you remember Huck doing the little dance with the the little dash zero dash dance?
This dance?
No, it was something like that. But he made it. It moved each one. It was like a little animation. All right, it looks like it's going to be a ref for unpause, which is us. Thank you for sticking with us, everybody. We want to continue this match, so we're going to go 3, 2, 1, and rematch. Okay, there we go. We are now continuing on with this fight. There, immediate another little spike. Yeah, yeah, immediate another little spike we saw there.
Okay.
We are going to let the
Okay, let's switch back out of the game while we hopefully can get that sorted. It seems like, as Risky is saying, that it's apparently bad for everyone.
Yes,
so
it might be the Battle.net servers are struggling. So yeah, if like I say, you continue to deal with that. I'll talk more about the game and things like that. Again, very interesting position. We're not going to talk too much about the game because I guess well, neither players should really be watching, but there's not much we can really explain here. We want to make sure that the competitive integrity of the game and the competition is there first and foremost.
Yeah, it's just no fun to try and like control your units when
exactly
everything's kind of stuttery and jumping around, and it's such a fast game, such an intense game that you're obviously like trying to react to your opponent. You know, there's a lot of dodging to do. You can poke forward, you need to be pulling back, and if you're pulling back a second later than you wanted to,
it's a huge difference.
Yeah,
it really is a huge difference.
It mostly once it's settled and a number, you're kind of okay because it's very predictable.
Yes.
But when it's like jumping around and everything's very stuttery, obviously it's really hard to it's really hard to control for that.
A consistent 150 ping is, whilst not enjoyable necessarily, is very playable compared to it being fine and then jumping to 200 every 30 seconds. So we're just seeing what we can do with that. We want to make sure that everybody does not struggle.
Yeah, like you say, it's entirely because there's Starcraft is always online. There's no like dedicated LAN. So even though everyone is here on the same network, as you can see, see behind us, it's still kind of going to be, it's still going to have to be communicating to the mothership servers, and that's going to make things
the big controversial thing of Starcraft when it was first released, this was, and unfortunately, 14 years later, we are still suffering with that decision a little bit around. But yeah, I want to give a big shout out again to EPIC41. Again, this is a great view up here. We get the full balcony view, and you see all of these nerds down there playing. Actually, most of them are CS:GO players from this point of view. But we respect them anyway, right? Even for their faults of being CS:GO players. So yes, interesting to see. You can't quite see the stage from here. The stage is just covered by that curtain that's behind Heart's head. And but yeah, later on we'll be moving all over there. Yeah, good ducking skills.
I mean, I'm literally only covering the curtain. It's this side. I'm literally only covering the curtain. Yeah. This is just it's so hard because it's reversed. This is just the doorway to get through to the stage area. You see the screen in the gap in the curtain.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
Ready? It's going to change in a sec. Ready?
Is it going to change in a sec? I'm not sure.
You can only see that bit anyway.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, really looking forward to the finals tonight. We get to have it on stage, which is really cool. Big thanks to EPIC41 for letting us do that.
Yeah, it's always very hype. It's so much fun, getting the big screens out. Everyone's in the crowd. Everyone's, kind of, there's a lot of, people are obviously have their closer friends here, and everyone gets on. But we're
and then we get pizza
everyone gets on,
and
everyone gets their pizza order in. We all kind of get together, and our whole group kind of comes together, and we all.
And then the party happens afterwards, and that is another big part of the EPIC41 sort of culture. Is that the Saturday night is a bit of the party night? So.
Yeah, Risky is just pointing out that Stormgate has rollback. Yeah. So this might not be such a problem.
Well, rollback on bad connections has other issues, but it'd be interesting that. But for anyone who doesn't know, Zane is not the biggest Stormgate fan. If you know Zane, you know that. That's like the first thing he'll tell you about himself. You'll find out that before you find out that he's Protoss. All right.
It's going down. We're down below 100 MS now. It does seem like
that's really good.
Network is getting itself back under control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking okay.
Yeah, we want to make sure both players are happy. We want to make sure, like I say, this is, again, Risky and Zane are both very competitive players. They both care a lot about this, and they both want it done right. They don't want to
you can't follow us on. I'm not, we're sorry for the delay stream.
Yes, of course.
Honestly, I don't think you can blame us for for trying to have the Zane says internet will always have some amount of lag due to how it works.
Okay, they're discussing about rollback and network connections now. That's
it's like if you went to a tennis game and one player had like a rock in their shoe, you'd be like, oh, hang on, just keep playing. You know what I mean? You'd be like, okay, let's make it fair.
Wanna also take the time to give a shout out to the production team and the admins down here who have been doing a great job at helping keep the StarCraft players organised, which is very easy to do. We're a very easy group to manage.
Yeah, famously, and they never.
So I want to give a big shout out for that. Thank you, production, for all your hard work. It's very much appreciated. We really like having the nice stream on, and we know it wouldn't be possible without you guys. So that is all good. And I know the admins have been working very hard to keep everyone together, and have been very good part of the community. I actually really like when the production get involved, and like I say, the admins, they come down, they talk to us, they have a good time. It becomes part of the community. Again, we're quite close-knit as the StarCraft guys, the community. But we're always welcome to have people show interest and sort of stuff like that. Remind me, I need to go see some of the casual gamers. Some people were playing Tekken. I want to go take my controller over there and see if I can give them around,
Definitely. Okay, interesting. So our ping is fine, but it seems like Risky is still having some ping issues. I have literally 20 ping, which is like really crazily good.
Yep, that.
Now 19. Apparently it's just dropping as I read the numbers.
Yeah, well, we will have to wait and see. Just a few more minutes on this one as we will continue talking about it. Let me talk about what else is going on in the bracket. If I can remember the bracket. We had
EBA versus Fig is on the other side of the bracket.
That's
they should be playing now.
Yeah, and that's almost like a grand final in and of itself. To be fair, that's like that's a very hype match. ZVZ though, which is unfortunate. And actually, how much are we looking likely for a ZVZ final? And obviously, Risky is ahead here.
Yeah, Risky taking the lead in this series, and this game, when we left off,
Yes.
like it was going to continue to go his way. We'll see if Zane can do something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I guess puts him versus definitely Azerg in the kind of
Yes,
upper
exactly.
finals,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you call it. But we are, and that will be on stream. But then we have to go to the lower bracket and see who's kind of fighting their way through there.
So Raza is still fighting his way through the lower bracket, and potentially Zane will be as well. So that'll be interesting to see if we can, like say, get a Terran or a Protoss in the finals. It'd be very nice, especially since as I will probably be obsing that finals, and I don't want it to be a ZVZ.
Okay, here's what I propose. Ready?
Okay.
Go on, hear the plan.
Here's the plan.
We are going to throw it to a break screen.
Okay.
And then we're going to run downstairs.
Yep.
And see what's going on, because it got better and now it's gotten worse.
Okay.
So I think we are going to stop trying to stall for time and filling. And we'll try and
I was
and
doing
just
such a
leave
good
this
job
here.
with that.
We were doing really well. You're absolutely go. Absolute